Stream.
They're now live on air.
Stream. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. I'm live on air. Now you're live on air. Say stuff.
Stuff. Hi.
Oh, no.
What? Oh? Oh, no. Can I not be heard?
You cannot be heard because desktop audio is being trashed.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it just doesn't work,
Yeah.
and I don't know why Streamlabs does this.
Yeah. Not perfect system.
No, okay, one moment. I'm sorry to everybody on my end.
Tech issues. Fun.
I'm going to... This is what happens. I should have tested it before I started up, but I was in a hurry for reasons that I will explain in a moment. Hold on. I'm just going to stop the stream and then start it again. If you really want to see what's going on, I don't know. Just go to
I have a stream too.
Yeah, here we go.
I am being heard on my stream, which
Okay.
Streamlabs is telling me is the case.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Yep. So, I'm used to tech issues from the Danganronpa streams. Anyway, break time is over. During that hiatus, I did do the one stream with Mathis, but that didn't count. I'm
Technically.
yeah, the original plan was that I wasn't even going to stream that. I was just going to be a guest on Mathis' stream. And I was like, no, I want to stream.
Okay, what is my desktop audio doing?
But, yeah, I'm glad to be back to actual streaming again. God, I have a very exciting stream that I have begun to plan. And I don't want to talk about it yet. I don't want to talk about it in details yet, but I'm really excited that it's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Can I be heard? Hello?
Yes, hold on. It was because, okay, I realized it wasn't just Streamlabs being bad, it was also me being bad, but also Streamlabs being bad. Hold on, give me a moment. Let me just post a second tweet, because I guess this is a thing I'm doing now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So, yeah, it turns out what had happened is because I have a new pair of headphones, okay, because basically for the desktop audio, it asks to take audio from a specific device. And I had set it to default originally because I'm like, this is default. This is the default. I just realized I'm not on the screen. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, I was like, default. This is the default. This should work fine, right? And no, apparently every time I change a device, it asks me to change it again.
Rip.
So I got new headphones. So they're like, oh, this should work, right? But that would also explain why this morning when I was doing karaoke, it didn't do that because I was using old headphones. And maybe that just reverted to default. I don't know why it does that. Sound Alert's browser source is offline. Well, I can't do anything about that right now. It's probably because I was offline for 2 seconds. Oh yes, by the way, thank you to somebody subscribed, Ennui. Thank you to Ennui on me for resubscribing at tier 1. Yep. It is time for It is time for virtue and the last reward thereof. Yes. Yep. Thank you.
So, with all of that out of the way, let's just jump in. So
Do you wish to jump?
I figure because we've done we have gone to a point at an end for the others, that we just go down the middle now. Yeah.
I might as well. Do you wish to jump? I do wish to jump. Look, I will even jump now. Boing.
Okay.
Boing.
Putting it on.
Boing.
Okay. Oh, Tenmyaji. Yeah, it's been long enough that I don't, I have definitely forgotten things about this game since we last played.
Rad, who are these people? Who are these people? Do you remember that?
See,
Who is this child?
The funny thing is I still remember some spoilers. Like, because I have, like, scattered spoilers on the game, it's like, I look at things and I'm like, oh wait, I remember this! This thing I'm not supposed to know yet.
Don't actually remember any of the important stuff. Which, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, remembering things that haven't happened yet is, like, kind of a part of this game. Technically.
Not
for some reason.
One of the spoilers I'm thinking about is from the next game.
Oh.
It's a really funny spoiler.
Okay. For some reason, Rand's audio is crunchy on this end. I think the issue was that I had the desktop audio turned up way too high. Is it better now?
Test.
Hi. Say something crunchy.
Crunchy?
Munch, crunch.
I
don't know. Talk about breakfast cereals. Talk about.
I don't know. When I think of crunchy, I think of like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
I don't know. My brain just autofills it in with roll because I'm a weeb now.
No, I think of like crunchy music. Like like there is just music that sounds like it has a crunch to it. Like guitars that are just crunchy.
Crunchy. I don't know. I think the other thing when I think of crunchy is people eating things that shouldn't be edible. So when people talk about eating like keycaps or something, that's where my brain goes when I hear the word crunchy. It's like, crunch.
Oh, are we finally doing this room?
Yeah, I think.
We have seen this room so many times. It's weird.
Well, like I said, like, this game is a little different because they actually use the rooms. Like, the rooms have a purpose outside of just being puzzle boxes. So,
yeah, which I like. That's definitely a fun aspect to it.
Yeah. It feels more like a real building, whereas the boat very much just felt like an amusement park kind of thing, where the rooms serve their purpose and then are never seen again, partly because half the time they're underwater and no longer accessible, but...
Which,
yeah.
Like, that definitely works with the story that 999 was telling. I don't know how this building plays into this story.
I'd tell you, but I also don't remember.
Rip. So yeah,
Good.
Is this the first escape room in this? No, it's the second one.
Yeah.
So it's still redoing a bunch of exposition we've seen twice.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting? I was just thinking about this since I've been playing the new Great Ace Attorney recently. This game, like Virtue's Last Reward, I find it's really interesting what does and doesn't get a tutorial. Because half the time, we are given tutorials for stuff you don't do. And we are not given tutorials for stuff you do. Like, you're never really instructed on how to solve the puzzles, or how to escape a room, but you are instructed on, like, how the bracelets work, which, aside from AB games, you don't really get much of a say in. Whereas Ace Attorney gives you tutorial on stuff you actually are doing, like, you know, you're sitting in court and your assistant goes up to you and tells you what evidence is, like, as a concept. But yeah, this one doesn't really actually tell you how to solve puzzles outside of, like, very simple instructions for individual puzzles.
I kind of get it where it's like you are just clicking stuff. And like it's a genre kind of like a JRPG doesn't tell you how to do turn-based combat.
Yeah, it's kind of assumed you already kind of know. I mean, to be honest, I feel like video games have like a weird problem that they run into, because I know a while back I was trying to show my mom how to play Animal Crossing, and she's not really a gamer. Like, she knows how to use a computer, she knows how to use, like, you know, a remote control. But there was a lot of things when we were playing Animal Crossing that I was suddenly realizing the game doesn't actually tell you how to do them. So stuff like use the Joy-Con or like the joysticks to move, or press A to continue. Stuff like that is very, very obvious for most people who play video games regularly is not really that obvious for someone who hasn't played them before. And a lot of the games don't tell you these things. They just assume that it's part of the general game knowledge that most people have.
Yeah, well, I think it's because, like, if a video game is your first video game, you will not know how to do these things. But for most people, it's just gonna feel condescending and pointless to be here is how you move.
You could walk by putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and, like, you do get some games that do have the, like, here are the basic movement controls. I think, like, I've been thinking about Pokemon Ranger lately, but I think it does that. Especially in that case because it had they had like two different control schemes that it had to explain, and most games don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So audio just sounds lower quality in this stream. Are you using the same mic that you use for streaming?
Yes, I only have one mic.
Okay. And that's the one Discord is using.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because, yeah, you definitely sound crunchier on my end, but I also can't fix it without closing the stream, so...
Like, I have another microphone, but that's a microphone that I use in, like, music. And it's currently over in my closet. And not plugged in. And even when it is plugged in, it's plugged into an amp. Not my computer. Okay, so...
What sucks is when you have a multi-platform game that gives incredibly vague instructions that still manage to feel condescending, like push the action button. Yeah, that I think I've definitely seen those before. Or like stuff that's clearly been ported from a different platform that had a different control setup on the remotes. I know it's funny, like, the last year, when Project Diva Megamix came out, that was, I believe, one of the first Project Diva games that was on a console that wasn't PlayStation or PlayStation adjacent, like not PSP or something. So because of that, there was a lot of people that were like, oh god, how do I work with a different button setup? And the game actually gives you the option to just have the icons show up as PlayStation buttons instead of as like Switch buttons, because it's what most people are used to, and people are like, oh god, I can't play this game anymore.
That is actually kind of clever.
Because aside from like the Project Mirai games, which had a completely different control scheme regardless, the Project Diva Megamix was just well, I mean, they're generic icons too. Lack of triggers on the Switch seems to cause problems for a bunch of games, Sony allowed that. Well, but they're not copyrighted, I don't think, because they were literally just, like, circles and triangles and X's. Like, they weren't really shown in the same setup. It's just using the same icons that they would have used in the other games. Especially because a lot of the beat maps, I believe, were, I guess, imported, for a lack of better words, from... what's it called? Future Tone, which is for the PlayStation. Like, a lot of the beat maps are the exact same. So they had to, make it doable for people who are not used to using the Switch.
So,
okay, what are we doing? I talked too long about Project Diva, and now I don't know what's going on anymore.
I am... Oh, wait. Okay. I need to clear it. This kind of sucks, because I'm trying to make a map of what all of the letters are, but there's no way to reset.
Oh, except for starting over?
Yeah.
I think this is a thing you need more information before even attempting.
That's not going to stop me from trying to map this out.
Trying to speed run this room? Trying to, like,
we are not going
do
to
the
speed
zeros? You're trying to clip through walls? Although I imagine clipping through walls would probably make escaping rooms a lot easier.
Like, I am just, like, why doesn't it have Why is the retry button faded?
Probably because, there shouldn't be a reason for it to be retried, because I feel like it's a thing that'd be hard to mess up.
I'm just trying to figure out what the letters are. No.
Again, I think it's going to tell you. I don't think you're going to have anything to gain by just trying to brute force the puzzle.
I mean, I'm over halfway done. I'm over halfway done. Oh, shucks. Oh, shucks is the closest we've come to a word so far. J. Wait, fuck. Okay, so... I'm glad I checked that because I got one of those wrong. Okay, I have written this down.
Okay. I don't know if that was worth doing anything, but...
I probably wasn't. Just... Okay, we need, like, a key card or USB? HDMI? Yeah, okay, we need a key card.
A cord. A cord.
We wouldn't be given a blank notebook for no reason.
Yeah, there's definitely some, like, invisible ink something probably going on here. I don't know. Why was invisible ink a thing that everybody made a huge deal out of when I was a kid? There was so many, like, invisible ink toys kind of thing.
I feel like that's just the kind of thing that appeals to like, the sensibilities of a child. Because, like, that's been a thing that's aimed at children for, like, years.
Yeah, yeah.
You go back to, like, 50s adventure stories, and it's, like, those involved invisible ink. And I'm sure in, like, the comic book ads, it's, like, that stuff, too.
Because, yeah, I definitely remember having, like, 2 separate invisible ink toys. Like, one of them was, like, this marker where one end was, like, invisible ink, and then the second end was, like, this other marker you would color on top of it, and you'd be able to see the message. And then I had a second one that was, like, a marker with a UV light on the end, so you would write with a marker, and then you would, like, shine on it with a UV light, and you could see what you wrote. But yeah, just the fact that I had 2 separate ones, I'm like, wow, that was a thing.
I think it is just a thing aimed at children.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, honestly, novelty stationery, I think, was just a thing for a while. Like, we had those, like, bendy pencils, and we had those,
Yeah, okay.
Did you have those erasable pens?
Maybe?
The erasable pens were really interesting, actually.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but my dad ran a bookstore as a kid. And in addition to selling books, there was, like, stationery stuff. So we would get, like, that weird stuff that would just be sold.
The pens with edible ink? I'm sorry, what? Did it taste good?
You probably shouldn't.
Are you sure it was edible on purpose? Yes, was it intentionally edible? Okay. Those diary toys that were like, oh, it has the security features. So that means that the mean younger brother in the commercial can't read it. Oh my god, I remember those. I had a whole bunch too that were literally just notebooks with like a little clasp and like this really tiny cheap lock on the side. So you're like, ooh, now somebody can steal the entire diary, I guess, but they can't read it. I don't know. For me too, it was just because like, as a kid, there's so many things that's like, ooh, hide your secrets. But then on the other hand, it's like, how many children have actual secrets to hide that could be hidden from somebody who could ostensibly have a lock?
It gets a lot easier with the internet, I think.
Yeah.
Like, definitely for me, like, keeping secrets got a lot easier when I started using the internet.
Well, because I don't know. I think the thing is too, I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, I was on good I was on good terms with my sister. Maybe if you had siblings that hated you, then maybe it'd be different.
It probably might explain it, yes.
Because, yeah, even then, like, as a kid, it's like, okay, I'm going to keep secrets from my parents. And then my parents would be like, tell us your secrets. And then I would just do it. Like...
See, I mean, really, it's my family, are who taught me how to be adequate liars. Because, like, I would keep secrets from them, and they would tell me, they would tell me when they caught my lie, and it would be like, I mean, I would get punished for it, but I would be like, okay, I'm gonna try to get better. So... Yeah,
well, it's like, isn't that what they say about, like, negative reinforcement? Like, it doesn't teach the child to be better, it just teaches them to get better at getting away with it.
Uh-huh.
There was a banana one, and a strawberry one, and an orange one. For flavored pens? I know we had scented markers here. I don't know if flavored pens were a thing. That feels like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
I remember, I remember, like, flavored pencils.
Yeah, I don't think we had those. I don't think we had... I don't remember really having flavored anything. I know we definitely had scented things, but not flavored anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Politicians all writing in their purple diary with an electronic lock to hide their crimes. Just... Was there a pen, pineapple, apple pen? God damn it. But yeah, no, I don't know. Waiting for, like, a Danganronpa case with, like, somebody who has the answer, but is hiding their...
Why does this game have so many fucking slide puzzles?
Oh no, they're probably easier to design than, like, stuff with words. Probably easier to translate, too.
Ah!
I'm once again reminded that, I think calling an eraser a rubber is, like, a very British thing to do.
I've never heard anyone doing that, so I'm inclined to agree.
Because, I mean, in French, it's, like, an eraser is un gomme. Like, spelled like G-O-M-M-E, like un gomme. Which also shares the word with un gomme à mâcher, like chewing gum. But, like, again, context is it's understood. But yeah, I guess, not even all erasers are made of rubber. Like, don't you have, like, the ones that are made out of other materials, I guess?
Probably. I'm not familiar with the creation of erasers. Anyway,
because I know,
I'm
like,
picking up on that for now. Slide puzzles suck.
Oh boy, never play Professor Layton.
You've told me that before. Okay, is there anything else I can do right now without finishing that?
Have you done all the clickery?
I think I have.
Yeah, it's called a rubber because you rub it against the paper to rub out the pencil. Yeah, but here's the thing, like, I had a friend in high school who was, like, art girl, and she had this eraser, because you know how most erasers will have shavings, right? Like, you erase something with it, and then, like, there's, like, eraser shavings. She had this, like, shavings-free eraser. It would get really dusty over time, and eventually you would have to throw it out because it would just become, like, a ball of dirt. But, like, it was made out of a different material, so when you would rub it against the page, it would just not give shavings. But... it wouldn't work very well. No, actually, it worked quite nicely. It worked better for specific kinds of pencils, because again, she was artist, so it worked better for kinds of pencils. Like, I think there's charcoal ones. I don't know.
They're just
I don't remember,
giving us
but
the answer like this.
Yeah. Wait.
Just like putting the answer on screen like this is kind of funny to me.
You fools. You fools. Oh my god. That actually kind of reminds me, Your Turn to Die, I'm pretty sure if you struggle too much at a puzzle, then they just straight up tell you the answer. They're like, we can't take this anymore. We can't watch you do this over and over. But then again, your turn to die, the focus isn't really on the puzzles. They're just kind of there as like a side part to the investigation.
Uh-huh.
But,
hey, Fi.
yeah.
What?
Oh, so like a kneaded eraser. Yeah, a kneaded eraser. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Fi, what?
Yeah. Oh my god, there's dihydrogen monoxide. Did you know that?
Thank you, Sigma.
Did you know that everyone who has ever drank dihydrogen monoxide has died? It's a true fact.
Thank you, Sigma, for calling her the fuck out. What the?
You know what I think? You know what I think? You know what I think? I think Fi uses Reddit.
Ah! I don't like that thought. I don't think I can disagree, and I don't think I
But
like
you
that.
don't. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't. I'm not wrong, am I?
No, that doesn't make it better.
Remember how the pencil sharpeners they had in classrooms would constantly snap your pencil when you tried to use them, but the ones you could buy from the school shop mysteriously wouldn't do that? No, it's because I don't know what you would have for school, but I know the sharpeners we had were the ones that were like bolted to the walls, and you would have to like turn. You had to like crank it.
Were they okay in your school?
Yeah.
Were they also positioned like right next to the
The doorway.
no, well, yes, but wow, I'm blanking on the
garbage can.
no shelf. No, not shelf, but like
the hooks where you put your coat, or
no, like I feel really dumb for not being able to think about what word I'm thinking of.
because I know ours were always like right next to the door and right above the garbage can, which is probably for the best.
Just like counter. That's the
Counter?
word. There was
No,
They would often be like right next to a counter,
yeah,
but like
I think
not just counter, but like it would be like close enough to the counter that you can't sharpen your pencils without hitting your hand on the counter.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. Most of the classrooms I had as a kid didn't have counters. I was in portables for half the time. Yes. Okay, hold on. Those wall ones suck because if then you could go to the school shop and pay the school a quid to buy a sharpener that actually worked. Yeah, see, we didn't have that. I'm not. Yeah, the wall sharpeners. Yeah.
Yeah, the wall sharpeners sucked.
Yeah. Here's the problem. The problem for me was that I don't know if I ever mentioned this. I spent most of my elementary school time in portables because my school was incredibly overpopulated. And instead of just... Eventually they did close the school and, like, funneled the students into a different school, but that was after I had already, like, finished grade 8. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, basically their plan was just, let's add another portable. Mm-hmm. So at some point we had 11 classrooms, and I believe, like... Or we had, like, 10 classrooms and 11 portables.
Oof.
Like,
yeah.
they just, that was their plan. They're like, until we can figure out what to do here, we're either going to have to pray for, like, a steep decline in students signing up for this school, or we're just going to add another portable. Mm-hmm. So basically, every year from grade 4 to grade 8, I was in a portable the entire time.
Yeah, my elementary school had some portables, but I never had a class in one of them.
Yeah. I had a few high school classes in portables, and they were all English classes, now that I think of it. But yeah, at least my high school had actual rooms and weren't just adding portables haphazardly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my high school did a lot of construction stuff, and like there was just this row of like newer classrooms right at the back of the school. But I don't think they ever actually had portables.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, my high school also did a bunch of construction stuff, but it was after I graduated.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing with schools constantly expanding is kind of wild. Here's the thing, my elementary school was the victim of a bunch of specific circumstances. Essentially what had happened was, there had been this new, like, suburb development that had been built. And the people that moved into it were told that very soon they would be able to have a new school for their kids to go to. So you had a lot of, like, you know, new parents.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! You had a lot of new parents that had just moved in, and their kids were starting school. Like, it had been a few years. Their kids were starting school, and the school hadn't been built yet. And the kids were getting sent to this other school that, due to weird school zoning, was, like, on this, like, rougher side of town that a lot of the, like, suburban parents weren't a fan of sending their kids to. So, my school had a French program. And it was still a public school, but it had a French program. And because of that, because of a lot of parents in this new suburb that didn't want to send their kids to, like, what they saw as, like, a really sketchy school, they're like, okay, we'll put our kids in the French program. That way we don't have to put our kids in Catholic school. We don't have to put our kids in private school and pay lots of money for that. And they will still get an education. It will just be in French. So because of that, there was a few years where we just got this absolute, like, onslaught of new students from people in that subdivision who wanted to send their kids to not the other school. It's quieted down after the school that they were promised eventually did get built, but by then it was already kind of too late, and our school was, like, being packed to the brim with children, so...
See,
yeah.
I just did go to the undesirable school in my district, because I am autistic. Like, my school district had a program for, like, autistic and other special needs students, and they put us in the bad school.
Oh, yeah, I think, I don't know, the other thing...
One time a girl got stabbed about 20 feet away from the special needs classroom. That kind of bad.
Yeah, I think the other thing, though, is that, like, it turns out that school zoning, like, the rules about it aren't the same everywhere. Because it turns out that, like, because where I lived before, where I grew up, for high schools, you didn't have a choice, or you had a choice of where you wanted to go to high school. Like, students that were close to the school would be prioritized if they had to, like, only accept so many students. But if you lived in a different part of town, you could still go to whatever school you want, you just wouldn't be guaranteed to get in, right? But then I moved, and where I moved to, turns out you now need, like, a reason to switch schools. So if you're like, oh, I want to go to this school, even though I don't live close to it, because it has, like, XYZ program, you need, like, a reason to switch schools. Which I guess kind of makes sense, because then otherwise everybody would be going to, like, the same few places just for, like, the clout or something, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
I mean...
yeah. It turns out not everywhere gives you a choice.
Yeah, I think there was a choice in my area, or at least there was for, like, my older siblings. And then, while my, like, when my sister was a freshman in high school, the school turned into a charter school.
Oh, yeah, see, we don't have those here.
Yeah, so it turned into a charter school. I've heard mixed to bad things about that school after that. But, I mean, she graduated at least. I know it's kind of like... After that, I think, like, the only... Well, there might have been another public high school in the area. I can't remember. If it was less notable than the one I went to.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading Omelet's messages in my chat, and I'm just realizing how we don't really have boarding schools where I live. Like, I'm sure they exist, but they're definitely not a common thing. Like, if someone asked me where is the closest boarding school to you, I wouldn't know what to answer. I don't even know if there is one close to me. Like, yeah, maybe, is that like a British thing? Because, like, I know what a boarding school is, but it's all through, like, media. Like, through watching shows and reading books about boarding schools.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's a thing in the Americas.
Yeah, or at least if it is, then it's not, like, particularly common. Like, it's only for, like, very specific situations.
My one of my dad's girlfriends, when I was in high school, tried to get me sent to military school. But I think that's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't even know if we have military schools here either. I mean, we do, but they're like they're not considered part of like the education system.
I don't know what I mean, it didn't happen. I don't even know if that was actually an option or if she just hated me because I existed and meant that she and my dad couldn't fuck all the time.
It's like, is this an option or is this a threat?
Definitely the latter.
Yeah, I think, because I know we have private schools here, for sure, but I don't know if any of them actually have dorms. Obviously you have dorms for, like, colleges and universities, but for, like, elementary, middle, high school, I don't think we really have that.
There were definitely, not in, like, my immediate area, but, like, if you get, like, several, like, a day trip away, a day trip to visit these places, but, like, there were private schools that had dorms. I remember because when I was in middle school, my family talked about sending me to one of them just because, boy, middle school was a hard time for me. They looked into a lot of different options. And eventually what they decided was just literally anywhere but the school I was going to. I can talk a lot about that.
Some equivalent boarding schools have them. Yeah, I don't know. I think here's the other thing is that the fact that there aren't many boarding schools here, I think also means that it's a kind of thing that's pretty much reserved entirely for people who are incredibly wealthy. So if someone says, oh, my child is in boarding school, your first thought isn't like, oh, so you hate them and you wanted to send them away. It's more like, oh, you have rich, that kind of money.
You're rich and you hate them.
Yeah. Boarding schools in the UK can be split into public schools for the super rich, and then ones like the ones I went to where you can identify what they're like.
If it's a school for the rich, it's not a public school.
Yeah. There is no rich public schools here. Like, there are definitely upscale public schools that are that way just by virtue of being in upscale neighborhoods.
Yeah, but it's like, if poor people cannot send their students to it, it is not a public school. What defines a public school is being open to the public.
Government funding. Yeah. Because, like, there were definitely, like, quote-unquote rich public schools where I am, but they're not really rich, they're more like upper middle class, and it's more like, there's nothing special about them, it's just that they're in, like, a nice area. Or some of them might have, like, specific programs for, like, what's it called? International Baccalaureate or something. Those tend to also be a little more upscale because rich people like sending their kids to those because it makes them sound important, but they're not really, they're not like quote-unquote rich people schools.
So I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Okay, I've been talking about schools for so long that I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here either.
Actually, I think I have an idea. I just don't know what that idea is.
Yeah. The etymology of that is that they were originally schools which you didn't need to be an aristocrat to go to in the 14th century. You know what? I forgot that the UK is old.
Britain is fucked.
It's old. And, there's a whole bunch of stuff there that's probably, like, remnants of when, like, democracy didn't exist yet.
Yeah. God, talking about school again for me is weird. School was a weird time for me.
Education.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, it is with this thing, because there isn't anything else we can do, but I don't know what we're supposed to be doing.
312. Well, I mean, what was the details on the screen? Like, you know the thing that just, like, told you the answer to a thing?
No?
What was that for?
What do you mean?
You remember how, like, a few minutes ago you were like, oh, haha, I just told you an answer to a thing.
Yeah,
Was that helpful?
See, so we mixed the white powder and water to make this.
Yes, what is that?
And then we put this fabric through that and got this.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm having a brain. Can I see that thing again?
This?
Yeah. I think...
You think?
I don't think anymore.
Oh no.
Okay, never mind. Maybe it doesn't work. Because I was thinking maybe those would be like the buttons you have to press in that chart thing, but that would also involve you knowing what those other symbols mean, which I don't think we know yet. I think the only answer is to do the slide puzzle.
We did, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how we got this safe open. And then the safe opened. We got a thing from it. It's empty now. I don't remember what we got in there, but, like, it's been used.
Been used, okay.
I don't know what else we have to click on. Oh, yeah, because... No. Because we got the card in there. Yeah.
How many letters is that picture the word supposed to be?
5. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we have 4 and 5 here.
Yeah.
And we have 1, 2... Not that. 1, 2, 3. But what do these mean?
Hold on. Go back and look at those pills again.
The chart thing?
No. The thing on the wall.
This?
Oh. I am a Genuous. I am big brain.
Uh-huh.
The colors match up with the colors. Okay, hold on. You're gonna need to pull out that notebook.
Okay.
Okay. Pull up the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Rectangle with a triangle inside is a 3.
Okay.
It follows the colors here.
Okay, so... Wait.
So the green pills, ignore the green pills, just look at the other ones.
Mm-hmm. One sec, I'm like...
Okay, I'm just gonna look at my chat for a moment.
Okay, so I have... like, the yellow thing written down as 3.
Yep.
Next.
The blue pills are 1.
Yep.
And then whatever else is red is 2.
Okay.
All I know about British public schools from the movie If. I don't know anything about British public school, to be honest. It's one of those things where when you grow up in North America, you assume that the entire world is North America. And then when people from the UK talk about their lives, you're like, the entire world is not North America. Huh.
Okay, so... Those correlate to 3, 1, and 2, but what about 4 and 5?
You don't need symbols for that, because 4 and 5 are just straight up written.
Wait, what's this thing here? That's...
What's what?
Just the difficulty thing. I don't remember that being there.
I mean, I'm not sure either, but I've never played on easy, and I don't intend to.
I don't intend to either, but, like, I don't remember that being there.
Okay, hold on. I think I've just learned a new swear word. Okay, one second.
This is exciting.
Okay, basically what happened is I had auto mod on Twitch turned on, basically. So, I have auto mod turned on, which means that if there's a swear word in there, it tells me before, and it gives me the permission to either allow or deny it. Like, so Alma just sent a message that says, British public schools are twunt central as a general rule. I don't know what twunt means. It says it's being held up for misogyny, so I'm assuming it's like some like sexist word. I'm gonna allow it just so everyone else knows what I'm talking about.
Twunt really does.
I don't know what this word means, but I know
really
twunt seems
sounds
to know
like
what
a
it
British
is.
thing.
Well, it makes me think of like twat, which I know twat is a word, but I've never heard twunt before, and I have no idea what it means.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being told it means Tory, which still does not mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't Tories? Does Tory mean something else for British people? Because I always heard Tory being used as like a term, as a short form for like conservative?
No, I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's the conservative politicians of that country.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would make sense. Because I'm like, I definitely have heard, like, of conservative politicians being referred to as, like, the Tories. So, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're the like, fascists.
Okay, so yeah. I was sitting here, I'm like, Twent, I'm like, but then why would that be a misogynist term? Like, because that's what Twitch was telling me he was being held up for. It was like, yeah, this is being auto-modded for misogyny. Is it like a gendered term? British people in the chat help me.
The British swears are like next level. Just really, like, swears are a fascinating thing when it comes to language.
Yeah.
Anyway, the word is cured, and I'm really glad I wrote this down.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, like, I am glad I wrote this down. It makes it a lot easier, because now instead of having to, like, reference the sheet over and over again, I can just have it here.
In the UK, that's a term you usually use to refer to a man, so who knows? Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Maybe it was, like, mixing it up with, like, another term? But, again, this is auto-mod. I don't know. I remember when I first started streaming, I had auto-mod set up to, like, the highest level that it could go, because that's the default. And it was so intense. It, like, overdid it just a little. I remember talking about languages, like, learning languages, and the words, like, the names of languages were censored. So someone's like, yeah, I'd like to learn French, and, like, the word French was censored. Like, oh yeah, guys, we can't be dealing with the French in the chat.
There are definitely people who say shit like that online.
Yeah, or I think Chinese also got censored. Yeah, it's like, I don't think we're gonna prevent racism by pretending that countries don't exist.
I mean, I'm all for it.
Or at least pretending that languages don't exist. Yeah, but, like, at least pretending that languages don't exist. Just be like, huh?
Okay, so...
French.
What else do we do, then?
Did you already input the password?
We have one password. I'm trying to figure out how we get the other.
You're sure there's two? Why would there be two?
Wait. No. Does that work? I don't...
I mean, it's worth a try.
Okay, so in that instance... This is kind of fucking with me. Okay, so... We still have D, but D is the third letter this time. The fourth letter is U. Fifth letter is R.
Can't have people referring to freedom fries as French fries.
God.
Even in French, they don't refer to it as French fries.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they just call them les frites. Like, they're just fries. What? I wonder where they got French from. Because, like, aren't fries from, like, Belgium or something? I guess they speak some French in Belgium.
Is French
but, like,
toast a thing from France?
I don't even remember the word for French toast in French off the top of my head.
But, like, is that a thing that came from France?
I don't know, man. Like, California rolls are from Vancouver. Like, who knows who comes up with the names for things?
Okay, so I tried this and I got Sedur. Sedur. S-E-D-U-R.
Is that a real word?
Seder is, but I don't know.
Not with a U.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. Okay. What word did you think I was just saying?
Well, yeah. Sitter was what I thought, but like
Sidar?
again, that isn't. Yeah, it doesn't like.
I was referring to
Seder. Yeah, wasn't it spelled Seder? Like, I don't think they would put a misspelled word.
Yeah, I don't actually know how to spell the word that I was thinking of, but yeah, so that's not it. What about this way?
You know what I'm thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it could work. Because I think the weirdness for me is the fact that 5 and 4 are now reversed. I don't know. If you come up with a word, let me know.
Yeah, okay, so 5 is I, 4 is S, 1 is U, 2 is...
American soldiers got fries from Belgian shoulders, and due to the language, they call them French fries. Ah, that would probably make sense, because I know French is... Like, some French is spoken in Belgium. And apparently French toast comes from Germany. The plot thickens.
Okay, so this way I got Akusi.
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 UCUCI. Or SI.
Akusi.
Akusi.
Akusi. It sounds like a name. Like, it sounds like a last name from, like, a language that I don't speak.
Yeah,
you know?
Maybe
that sounds like somebody talking about, like, politicians, and they're like, yes, Akusi voters have preferences for this and this and this policy.
Okay, so what about... Wait.
Hold on, I'm gonna turn on the lights in my room because the sun is starting to set, and I'm quickly going to become an egg playing video games by herself in a dark room for a moment. So let me just turn on the lights.
Okay, so... What about this way?
Hold on. I just also realized I put on an apron because I was wearing like an expensive dress today. I put on an apron when I was cooking so I didn't get gravy and stuff on my clothes, and I never took off the apron when I came down here. So I am just sitting here, housewife egg. Let me just take that off.
Okay, so this way I get Esiku.
Efiku.
Esiku. E-S-I-K or I-C-U.
Isiku.
Esiku.
Obviously, that's the other candidate in this non-existent politician's election. Ikusi versus Esiku.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you voting for?
I don't vote because politicians are all bad.
We're gonna need to. We'll have to come up with a third party too.
Yeah,
maybe
I vote third
Cured
party.
can be our third party. Cured can be our third party.
I'm sure. Well, what about Setter? We still have Setter. Setter can be the third party.
Yeah. Apparently, an innkeeper in America had the surname French in the 1700s, and he popularized a toast variety on the side of the pond. Ah,
that is so dumb. That is really dumb.
Yeah, I guess it's like French's toast. Jacuzzi versus STQ. Wait, do Brits actually call it eggy bread? Eggy bread? Eggy bread.
Wow, okay, that makes it so much easier.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually really enjoy French toast. That's my hot take.
I have actual trauma around it. Because my family are kind of fucked up. I don't even know if I want to tell this story because it involves vomiting. Do you want to hear this story?
Okay. Oh, I mean, you're presenting me with a very weird question here.
The story of why I don't like French toast. Okay, so like as a kid, I took medication for ADHD. But I took it in pill form. But I was young enough that I couldn't swallow pills.
Okay.
So what my family would do is they would open it up and put the powder inside of things and try to make me eat it. Have you ever tasted the powder inside of a capsule pill before?
To be honest, maybe, actually, yeah.
It tastes repulsive.
I was gonna say, like... But the real question is, why were they prescribing pill form medications to somebody who wasn't actually old enough to take pills?
Because, like, other, like, 7-year-olds can take pills. I, in particular, was not old enough to take pills.
Oh, you were just bad at it.
Yeah. So, like, they were trying to make me swallow them, but, like, it took a while. But yeah, so, it tasted bad. The usual form factor was Oreos. Because the powder was white and could be hidden.
Oh.
That's why I can never eat another Oreo again in my life.
Omelette is like, that's definitely how slow-release medication is meant to work.
But, like, there was this one time, exactly once, where they were like, oh, hey, Ran, here, on this plate is your normal daily Oreo with your medication in it. Also, we're having breakfast. Here, have some French toast. They mixed the powder in with the French toast. And it was horrifying. It was awful.
Honestly, I can only assume they had never actually tasted what it was, like, what food with medication mixed in tastes like. Like, I feel like they were probably trying to do the thing where they're like, oh yeah, she won't notice if it's mixed in, but, like, they might have underestimated how bad medicine tastes.
It tastes repulsive. I don't think there was a single time that I actually managed to eat, like, what they were trying to sneak it in, because it would hit my mouth, I would, like, chew it, like, once and then just throw up. God, I'm getting yelled at internally by headmates because we are beginning to remember what that taste was like. I am... That's fucked.
So French toast is bad. That's the moral of the story here.
Also, Oreos and yogurt.
Oreos and yogurt.
Yogurt is another case where they did it once, and it just kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of yogurt to begin with. Like, there are things that are just fundamentally just a little bit gross, and I think yogurt is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Cured!
Yep. But yeah, we already did that, so I'm, like, trying to figure out what the key for the other one is.
The E? Oh, yeah, the key.
The key.
Sorry, the sound cut off, and I'm like, of course. The E.
Nah, the key. But yeah, yeah, that's the story of why I don't like Oreos, and also don't trust my family.
What is the task now?
Figure out the alternate answer.
The alternate answer.
I know, this notebook is involved. How do I pick up the notebook and dunk it in the water? Like...
What is the point of the notebook? Every time you've clicked it, they're just like, oh, it's blank.
That's the text I've gotten every single time.
Is there, like... I don't know, did Sigma have a pen on him?
No. I have no idea. Like, what can we click on? Parents are so incompetent with that kind of, what is it even, training? I don't even know if I would call it training. 'Cause, like, they did try to teach me how to take pills, and eventually it worked. But,
which is probably what they should have done to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, the problem is, it's like, I kind of needed this medication to go to school.
So, like, you didn't really have the option of just, like...
Yeah.
Not...
I mean, and what ended up happening is I would end up throwing all of the medication up. So it wouldn't be going in anyway.
Work. Yeah, yeah.
but it's like, I get why they were insistent on it. I remember my dad getting tired of me not taking pills because I couldn't psychologically let myself swallow unchewed things, so he thought making me swallow M&Ms would help. God, that's... See, my family also did a thing with candy. But what they would do is they would encase the pill in a Tootsie Roll. Or, like, probably, like, multiple Tootsie Rolls to really, like, surround it. And they'd be like, here, this tastes sweet, swallow it. Do you know what encasing something in something else does? It makes it bigger.
Yeah.
And when the problem is I like, can't swallow it in the first place, it's like, this does not help.
Well, I was gonna say, like, isn't, like, wrapping something in something else, isn't that, like, how they administer medication to, like, dogs and cats?
Oh, yeah, like, no, that's definitely what they were going for. My family did not respect me.
It's like, maybe this will work on fish.
I
don't even know. Okay, I know there's fish food. Is there fish medication? Like, can you go to the pet store and buy, like, fish medication for your fish? Are there, like, fish vets? Probably. Do you drop the medication? I don't know. I'm thinking about this now, because I'm like, I know there's medications for, like, dogs and cats and horses and all that, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like fish don't live that long to begin with. Like, at least the ones in fish tanks.
Yeah. I mean, like, it depends on the captivity of non-mermaid fish. I know that there are, like, some species of fish and squid live really long. Like, yeah. The vampire squid lives for, like, 40 years.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, Omelette says, feels like people don't prize fish in that sort of manner. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
Like, you do have, you do have people who do that kind of thing, but they're probably a lot, less common.
Yeah. Don't some sharks live for hundreds of years? Yeah, I think whales too, but those aren't usually the kinds of things you keep in a fish tank at home.
And they're also in the wild. Yeah, there is that one shark that is, like, 600 years old. There was there's like a clam, I think, that was 600 years old when it died.
Don't, like, lobsters or, like, shellfish live for a really, really long time?
Oh, lobsters are theoretically immortal. They don't die, at least naturally. I mean, what will usually happen with a lobster is that it keeps growing and it keeps having to molt its shell, and eventually it will be, like, eventually it's old enough that it is, like, can't molt properly, and it dies in its shell. Like, by infection or something.
Yeah.
But, like, let's say...
I mean, probably... But, like, also, they probably would get eaten by something else before then, too. Like, if they live...
that's the other thing. So it's like, but, like, if you had, like, a group of people who just dedicate, like, a culture who dedicates themselves to keeping this one lobster alive for all of eternity, it wouldn't die.
Pet fish die young because of their living conditions, not like biology. Goldfish can apparently live for years. Interesting. I mean, to be fair, I think it's also that the kind of people who get goldfish, I feel like there's, like, yeah, well, I feel like, no, there's, like, two categories of people that usually get fish as pets. You have people who are, like, aquarium enthusiasts and, like, do a ton of research and get the fancy equipment and stuff. And then, yeah, you have children who are getting a fish because their parents don't want them to get a dog or a cat because that would take up too much space in the house. So, yeah, I feel like, yeah, just the fact that that's the state of being for goldfish owners probably contributes to that as well.
Yeah, now I'm just thinking about, like, there's a lot of immortal things living in the ocean. There are multiple species of jellyfish that can't die. Like, something can eat them, but otherwise they just don't die of natural means. And unlike the lobster, they don't have a shell to kill them. So they will just keep living.
Huh. Will we...
Arknights has a character who's based on one of the immortal jellyfish. I appreciate her.
Immortal jellyfish.
She is also immortal.
A jellyfish.
So I have no idea what I am doing here.
Have you tried... No, I was gonna say, have you tried doing it backwards, but that just comes up with the word cured backwards.
Yeah.
Are we trying to, like, 100% this thing, or...
I want to get this. Like, we've gotten...
Okay.
Since, like, the second room or third room, we've gotten all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I...
Oh, whoa?
Oh, whoa?
Oh, whoa?
Oh, whoa?
Can you pick it up?
Oh, that? No. That's where we got a few other things that...
Oh, okay. I just... Honestly, every stream becomes a chat stream that just also happens to have video games going in the background.
And I don't mind that, honestly. I like the vibes here.
It's like my brain floats distantly away from the game, and every so often I come back and I'm like, wait, where are we?
Getting all of them unlocks a bonus alternate ending. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get all of them because we missed the first couple. Because I didn't really get, like, I didn't get how it worked at first.
People in chat, bonus ending. Is that the one that I think it is? Is that the extra non-canon ending? Or is it something else? Because I don't remember. I don't think I got all of them when I played it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, like, I don't know... Yeah, I don't know what else to be doing here. Like, we don't have any other items.
Whee!
So it's like... What else? What else do we have to do?
Yeah.
Very desky.
Go ah.
Ah. And like, that gun is very conspicuous.
And that's all Sigma has to say about it.
There was more said earlier. But yeah, I don't... Okay, Henri in chat doesn't remember this room either. It's just like, I feel like there's like something we're missing.
Have you checked the defibrillator? Was there something inside the defibrillator?
No.
Okay, it's just a defibrillator.
Uh-huh.
Defibrillator.
Like, there just doesn't seem to be a, like...
Hmm. I don't have ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe we could... Should we give up? Should we give up like we're failed shonen protagonists?
I mean, like, you can just look up the answer.
That's true.
That is always.
I have something Sigma will never have. I have a cell phone.
You have the internet.
Let me see. Let me see. New tab. What do we got? What's this game called again? Virtue's Last Reward.
Virtue's Last Reward. We're in the infirmary.
Virtue's Last Reward.
So now I'm thinking about like, our hang-up with Oreos is like largely like the shape of an Oreo, but like there are like off-brand Oreos.
Yeah.
That
well, even Oreos
that like we are fine with. Like there was one that was like lemon flavored that I liked.
Off.
Oh, cured is the bonus one?
Oh, cured is the bonus? Hold on, what's the non-bonus? What's the non-bonus?
Fuck!
It's cured? Oh, okay. The non-bonus is, or the regular... The other one is found. F-O-U-N-D. I don't know where it says... Hold on.
How are we even gonna get that?
The pills next to the door. You...
What?
This walkthrough. What are these instructions? Take your clean sheet and compare it with the grid pills next to the door. You have to just do this mentally. Count how many blue, yellow, and red pills are covered up by the numbers and symbols on the clean sheet. 2 blue, 2 yellow, 1 red. Enter that into the shelf where you entered 5, 6, 2 earlier.
How is that supposed to be easier?
Giving you a new clean sheet. Put this sheet onto the atom bed, then touch the red button on the atom. Tap the handheld scanning device on top of the atom, then scan the clean sheet in order of the numbers. You should get the code found. Press check to get one of the safe passwords. The part that kills me is just the one that says you have to just do this mentally. Like even the walkthrough is like, yeah, you're on your own here. Like,
how is that easier than just putting the fabric in the thing? Like,
you have to do this mentally. You got to do this mentally.
That is so unintuitive. Holy shit.
Yeah, Oreos are like round bourbons that are less sweet. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I was a kid, I don't know if there was just like a phase where the Oreo company was just like, let's be creative with this. But I definitely remember as a kid, there were like these limited time flavors that don't exist anymore. There were chocolate mint Oreos at one point in history. I swear.
Oh yeah, no, there were. I feel like that's still a thing, and I mean, I certainly don't care, but like, I feel like people just like give it less attention.
No, chocolate mint Oreos don't exist anymore because I know I've tried to look for them.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were, no, it wasn't even chocolate mint. It was like mint and cream because when you opened it up, exactly half the icing was green and half of it was white.
Okay, also, wait, no, so the bullshit one apparently was the bonus one. When I put it in, we got the bonus.
Oh, okay.
Which makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Can't skip this.
Yeah, they're trying to be like Kit Kats, I think. I guess a little.
See, but like all of the coolest Kit Kats are only available in Japan.
I don't know. I've had some of them here.
My best luck has just been importing them.
Yeah. But even then, I feel like you end up... Because you have people who are like, oh, cool, new flavors of Kit Kats, but then you have people who just, like, only prefer the original, and they're like, I do not think about the other kinds of Kit Kats. So... Like, I don't know. My parents seem to be, like, Kit Kat purists. Like... That's
a funny thing to think.
Well, I don't know. I guess my mom is kind of the same with poutine as well. Like, we'll go out and they'll be like, you know, here's a bacon poutine with, like, pulled pork on it or something. And my mom's like, disgust. There should be 3 ingredients on a poutine and nothing else. Or, not on a poutine, but, like, there's fries, there's cheese, there's gravy. Yeah, and I don't know. I guess my dad's kind of the same with Kit Kat. We tried buying him, like, a variety once. Like, you know, have, like, white chocolate ones or, like... And he still preferred the milk chocolate ones. Even we found this one that was like this orange chocolate that kind of tasted like Tetris chocolate orange, but as a Kit Kat, and he didn't particularly like that one either.
Chocolate oranges are good. I don't think I've ever seen like orange flavored Kit Kat.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a limited time thing. It was for Chinese New Year.
Okay, it might also be a Canada thing.
Oh, Tetris chocolate orange? Tetris chocolate orange.
Yeah, no. I mean, where I am, I can only ever find, like, chocolate birds. Like milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and white chocolate.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah.
Is that the Quebec version of a Terry's Chocolate Orange? No, that's me quoting a ProZD video that I watched an eternity ago that has not left my brain. It was like reading out a Tumblr post or something of someone's just like misspelling Terry's Chocolate Orange, but yeah, that's all. Just the way he read it out, my brain is always just gonna be like Tetris Chocolate Orange.
You definitely made it sound like French, or at least mispronounced French.
Yes. Ennui says, a chocolate orange is my favorite Kubrick film. No, I think, I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of, like, old videos on YouTube that just stuck in my brain forever, and I can't... Every time I hear something related to it, I will just think of it. Like,
ProZD old YouTube. Like...
If I may give a controversial answer, no. Actually, no. It depends how old you are.
I was gonna say no. ProZD is new to YouTube in the grand scheme of things. When I think of old YouTube videos, I think of the shit I watched at my friend's house in like 2008.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, when I say old, I mean comparatively, because a lot of these clips are from like 5 years ago or so. So. They're not recent, but they're not old by any definition of the word.
I don't I started like actively like following people on YouTube in like I think like 2013. No wait. I think. Yeah, no, that it was before Thero Standard, so it would have had to have been 2013, maybe even 2012.
Yeah, see,
and it's like.
Where do you think is the splitting point for old and new YouTube, though? Like, because my brain says 2013, but it might be different for other people.
I think 2013 is like I think it's like you have the Wild West era of like before 2010, and then like after that you do have up to like 2013, and then like. As with the rest of the internet, like, post August 2014 is just, like, totally different.
Well, I think here's my theory here. I might be personally biased, because this was around the time when I would have been watching a lot of YouTube as a kid. But in my opinion, I believe the golden age of YouTube videos was approximately, like, 2010 to 2014. Because... to me, this is the time where YouTube was profitable enough that people could do it full-time, like as a job, and have like a semi-stable income, and they could devote all their time to it. But it wasn't so profitable that everything was super high production. So it was starting to get to the point where, people could invest a little money in it and make their videos look better, but it wasn't like totally corporate dominated quite yet. So to me, that's my personal opinion, but other people are like, no, YouTube was at its best in like 2007, where there was like 2 people using the site. Like,
I don't think YouTube was ever like has a best period, because like there is so much on the site.
Yeah, I think different genres of videos each have their like golden age as well.
God, remember fucking Abridged?
Abridged?
Like anime abridged and stuff.
Yeah, I think
that trend feels so dated now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think there are definitely people still doing things similar to that. They just don't call it abridged anymore.
Yeah, you get like fan gag dubs, but it's like the only person still making an abridged series is Little Karibo, who is the first person to do an abridged series.
Yeah, well, I think the other problem is like YouTube's copyright system seems to have kind of killed the genre.
Yeah,
because I know the SAO online SAO abridged people, they are I believe they're still making stuff. they're doing other abridged series. They just can't upload them to YouTube because they get like instantly thwacked with copyright. So
yeah, and I know that like Team 4-Star decided to end it when they did because copyright was hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, good for them for like being able to end it on their own terms, at least.
Yeah.
There were just a lot of abridged series that were like copyright just killed them and they couldn't keep going.
Yeah.
But like that's like very like 20 like really like 2013 to 2015 YouTube is when I think of like the golden age of abridged. It's like that's like basically everyone who had a mic and a friend to be a second voice was doing an abridged series at that time.
Yeah. It's the difference between 2005 internet humor and 2020 internet humor. Yeah. I think also the fact that a lot of these things move very quickly, right? Like 2018 was only 3 years ago, but it feels like a much longer time ago. When I look at I look at videos from 2018 and I'm like, oh boy.
When the world was pure and innocent.
It's like I am an elderly woman compared to who I was in 2018.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like maybe it just speaks to like what I watch, but like it definitely does feel like there are a lot of good video essayist channels right now.
Yeah. I mean,
like even just in terms of like Magic the Gathering video essays, I can think of multiple channels that I watch and enjoy. And that's a very niche subject.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like COVID probably helped that because it gave people, either people who were already thinking of doing YouTube more time to like try it out, but it also gave people more time to watch YouTube, I guess.
And also like
there wasn't anything else to do.
The people who do make YouTube videos, like they got even more chances to do it, like without anything else getting in their way. So it's like, one sec. Sorry, coughing. Like Sarah Zed's videos got longer through the pandemic.
Yeah. I think everyone's videos got longer.
Yeah, but I mean, Sarah Zed is the one putting out like consistent 2-hour-long videos.
Yeah, well, I feel like, you know, for a lot of people who are already doing that kind of content, like, I mean, she does it pretty frequently, but I feel like releasing what is basically a feature-length movie of a video essay every 6 months seems to have become, like, a new business model for a lot of channels.
Yeah, well,
like,
it generates a lot of hype. It ensures that, like, your video is the event.
Yeah.
Like Sarah Zed releases her homestick video, and Twitter is talking about it for the next, like, week. Which is, like, kind of a thing you need. When,
I think... Yeah.
And,
well,
like,
I think also, too, I'm more likely to go back and rewatch longer videos.
I rewatch videos of, like, all lengths. I think it's, like, once you're in the, like, sub 10-minute range, like, I'm less inclined to. But, the Magic the Gathering video essayists I mentioned, the two I'm thinking of are Spice 8 Rack and Ristic Studies. I rewatched their videos a bunch, and most of their videos end up in the like 15 to 40-minute range.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. For me, I'm hitting the point where just the longer the video, the better. Like, I look at, like, Tim Rogers' video lengths, and I, like, applaud and I cheer with victory. Like, okay, when I looked at the Tokimeki Memorial timestamp, and it was, like, 6 hours, I, like, literally put my arms up in a, like, pose of victory. I'm like, yes, 6 hours about a visual novel that I have never played.
One of these days I'll actually check out Tim Rogers' videos. I read a bit of his biography earlier in the year, because a friend was talking about it a bunch when she was reading it.
Yeah, I mean...
And he definitely seems like an interesting guy.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, he is pretty interesting. He's like... very much one of those people that, like, has lived about 8 different lives at various points.
That's the impression I've gotten from his biography.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't read too much into it, but, the friend who was, like, talking about it was, like, she was in particular talking about his time living in Japan and being a part of a rock band. And
whereas he seems to,
this guy is a video game reviewer.
I think also the fact that, like, he looks pretty young for his age. So
yeah, no, he's
like 40-something, I think, and
I think he's
the
like
fact that
I think he's in his late 30s.
Yeah. No, he's I think early 40s. Either way, he's older than he looks, and that messes with you a lot because you see this guy who looks to be about 27 maybe, and then he's talking about having like been in college and then had like all these different careers after, and you're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no, I guess he's like he is sort of towards the upper end of a millennial, but that's kind of like
yeah.
Even on the upper end of millennials, it's like early 40s at the best.
I mean, due to the passage of time, this bar for what counts as a millennial is consistently getting higher.
The Neil Cicerega of video essayists.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna read my chat because we get going on something and then everybody replies and I'm like, I have to go back and. Okay, so when the Wild West of Dragon Ball Z episode 28, part 103, 10-minute videos, that was the peak. Remember Vines?
I never used Vine.
I never used it either, but I have absorbed it through everybody else reposting them everywhere.
I never even watched those.
Yeah, I never, like, again, most of what I know is through, like, Vine compilations that were uploaded to YouTube. I think it's interesting how people seem to, like, kind of glorify the Vine era because all we have left of it is the best stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the stuff that people were like, this is worth keeping.
Give it, like...
That's all we have left.
If TikTok had shut down, like, people would start glorifying it after a point.
Yeah, well, I don't know, TikTok is interesting because you'd think that it would just be Vine too, but it kind of isn't.
No,
like,
well, it's longer videos.
Yeah, but it's not just longer videos, I think, but it's also the fact that there's a lot more that it can do in terms of editing, and so there's definitely, like, a Vine film language that didn't exist, or that can't exist on TikTok, because sometimes on TikTok there will be videos that go viral and people are like, this has Vine energy. But you can't really, like, there are definitely people who are popular on Vine that have tried going to TikTok and it just doesn't work there. Either because the video length is a little longer than what they're used to, but also just the film language is different. And I think because TikTok, you can add text, you can add text-to-speech stuff, you can add... like, obviously, sounds and audio are a big part of it, which it wasn't
music
really
thing
on
is really
Vine.
what I know TikTok for.
Yeah.
Because, like, I follow music, so it's basically, like, the new #1 hit in the country is from some fuck-off artist no one's ever heard of that got big on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, because, yeah, I feel like TikTok, the kind of songs that get big, I find it's one of those things where there seems to be like 2 ways to get big, right? You either have a song with lyrics that can be widely applied to many situations, or you have a song that has a dance to go with it.
And it's always about the, like, minute-long chunk of your song.
Yeah.
Which is doing interesting things to, like, pop song length, because it's like, a song will be like 2 minutes. And for the TikTok, you cut off the intro and the outro.
Yeah. Well, I think also, too, like, now that I think of it, a lot of songs in general are shorter. I had the thought the other day, King, like the song that every VTuber has covered?
No.
It's only 2 minutes and 45 seconds long. It feels longer than that, but it's only 2 minutes and 45 seconds long. It doesn't even have a bridge. It's just a first verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, and then a bunch of... like,
instrumental. I'm a progressive rock fan. 10 minutes is average length for me.
Yeah. Okay, so we probably shouldn't be talking about music during this because this is important.
We've already seen this, though.
Never mind, we're going to continue talking about music.
Yeah. But, I mean, I want to go to a comment, the fucking Neil Cicerega video essayist thing. Because I think that's a really apt comparison. You know who Neil Cicerega is, right?
Vaguely. I know he's done a lot of stuff. I know he does, like, a lot of music-related stuff.
So, yes,
and I know he was involved with Friday Night Funkin' somehow.
So his music, he did mashups. Widely credited as, like, kind of popularizing the mashup genre. Like, you kind of saw an explosion after those first couple albums he did. And so it's like, that's something that he's known for. He also has made video games. He also has his own, like, serious music project that's really good. Lemon Demon.
Oh, I think I've heard of... You know what? I've heard people say the name Lemon Demon. I did not realize until recently that it was the same person.
Yup. Hey, remember Potter Puppet Pals?
Vaguely, yes.
That was Neil Cicerega. He does, like, sketch comedy occasionally. He does podcasts.
So is his job just, like, internet man?
Once every, like, 3 or 4 years, he does a thing and then just changes the internet and is like, cool, my work here is done. Bye. Do you know Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny?
The name sounds familiar, but I can't remember where I've seen it before.
It's a song he made in the mid-2000s that was, like... It kind of, precedes all of the, like, who would win character from this series or this series kind of thing. Because it's just kind of like, all of these people from all these different series are fighting. And you can like, chart the course between Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny and Space Jam 2. One would not, like, Space Jam 2 would not exist without Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. But there's also, Two Trucks and Ruddy Quest as honorary mentions. When I called it a serious music project, I was like, it's serious compared to his mashups. He's still, like, a comedian. But yeah, it's like... Neil Cicerega has left a pretty big impact on the internet. Like, even in the early 2000s, it was like, he was making, like, he was making, like, national, international news just because, like, he was releasing these really weird videos that were going viral. And do you know how hard it was to go on viral in, like, 2001 internet? So it's like... he has just always been this guy who, like, knows what he's doing with, like, making stuff.
Now that I think of it, I feel like viral is a really weird concept nowadays, because there's, like, just because something nowadays has a lot of views doesn't mean that it's necessarily viral, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like, there are a lot of things I can think of that, yes, they are popular and many people have seen them, but they have not really left, like, it's not like back in the day where if something went viral, it wasn't just that it was everyone had seen it, but it's that everyone was talking about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really have that as much anymore, I don't think.
You get as many things that capture the public consciousness in that way.
Yeah.
You have as many of them, but you have as many things out, like, that everyone is watching, which makes it seem like there's less.
Yeah, well, I also think that, like, everything can be more now, so now you can have things that go viral within, like, a small subset of the population.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whereas before you would have everything going viral among everybody, like...
Yeah. Hey, were you using Twitter yesterday, and were you on Annie Twitter?
Maybe. I was working yesterday.
Did you see the thing that set Annie Twitter on fire yesterday? Because I feel like...
What hot take?
Oh, it wasn't a hot take. It was,
Okay.
There was a new My Hero Academia chapter that made...
Oh, wait, no, I saw that. I saw that.
I think that went, like, minorly viral. It was trending. Everyone was talking about it.
I know. Here's the thing. Yeah, I was looking and I saw that Mineta was trending on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, he's not a particularly popular character. Why is that? Did he improve somehow? And I don't know if I got an answer to that. Like, I was just scrolling through the tweets under the tag, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, but I think, like, that is the kind of thing that, like, that was minorly viral. Everyone was talking, like, I don't follow My Hero Academia fans. I am not a My Hero Academia fan. I saw a bunch of people talking about it.
Because, yeah, usually when... I feel like with Twitter, sometimes you do get stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of Twitter also just seems to be like, somebody makes a controversial statement, and then everybody argues about it for about 36 hours or so until they get tired of it and then move on to something else.
Yeah, it's a lot more wholesome for everyone to just, like, freak the fuck out over a mistranslation.
Was it a mistranslation?
Yes.
Okay, because I was seeing it being hotly debated.
I mean, yes, it is not confirmed as a mistranslation. Like, we don't have an official source saying it's a mistranslation. But...
So yeah, it isn't not a mistranslation.
We don't have confirmation one way or the other. But it's a very, like... It was a very general phrase in Japanese that was translated into something that's romantically coded in English. And I think even if there is romantic connotations there intended, I think making it so strong in one direction is a mistake.
Yeah. Well, especially for, like, someone like Mineta, who absolutely nothing else about his character is remotely serious.
Yeah, it's like, if this had happened with any other character, like, you would be getting these debates, but it would definitely be, like, different.
Yeah. Mineta is just like, that guy?
Yeah, it's just like, it's weird, though, because you definitely, like, I was scrolling through the trend, too, and it was like, there were a lot of people being like, I don't want this, or it's a mistranslation, or like, it's not a mistranslation and I hate it, but there were people who were like, this makes me think more highly of him. Which is a weird thing to be like...
Honestly, okay, I haven't watched much of Hiroaka, but like, you could edit out Mineta and nothing of value would be lost.
Uh-huh. I mean, I guess if he's getting, like, if he's showing up in, like, more serious plot beats, that something has probably changed in the manga. But also, it's like, it's an ensemble series. For every arc there, like, we're gonna use, like, these 4 characters.
Yeah, and I guess, like, in an ensemble series like that, too, you're inevitably going to have somebody who exists only as comic relief, and any character that they would have had kind of get shafted just in favor of that. And that's understandable. Like, you don't have unlimited pages or unlimited screen time. You can give a little more of that to Todoroki.
Yeah, it's been years since I've, like, watched or read My Hero Academia. I don't remember. I feel like I didn't gravitate towards any one character in particular. I don't know which one I would gravitate towards these days.
I don't know. I think I watched it, but I enjoyed it mostly on the basis that I have a lot of friends who are really into it, and it makes me think of my friends. And I have a lot of friends who, like, cosplay it, and it reminds me of going to conventions with my friends.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think I like Hiroaka for Hiroaka. I like Hiroaka for what it reminds me of.
I like it well enough, but some specific things in the manga made me drop it. This is back in 2017.
Yeah, I never read the manga. I just watched the anime.
But yeah, it's like, it is something I wouldn't mind. Like, it went in a specific direction I didn't like. But, I don't know.
Sorry, I just thought of this. I don't know what made me think of this, but the last time I watched Hiroaka, I think there was like, it was the end of the like tournament arc, and there's a scene where Todoroki is going to visit like somebody in like a hospital or something, and he's kind of like monologuing, and there's like shots of like him going into the hospital, and like, but the way that it's framed for a moment, it just threw me off because the way it's framed makes it look like he's just unloading all of this onto the receptionist at the hospital, because like, yeah, it's like over these shots of him going in and like talking to somebody at the counter. So I'm like sitting here, I'm like, is he telling all this like deep monologue to like the lady working reception at the hospital? I don't know. It was just like a weird film choice. I don't know. It made me laugh.
But so that was all just a tangent off of the like fucking internet virality thing. Because, like, I do think we still get things that, like, people end up talking about for, like, months.
I don't know. I also feel like maybe I just grew up in a particularly conservative environment, but I feel like there was also, back in the day, this kind of scandalous element about being viral. Like, things would be viral, and it's like, this is making society worse.
I don't think I saw that, but I do think I didn't think it was like there was a novelty to it.
Yeah.
That like
I guess old. Yeah, because I definitely remember being like, oh boy, my headphones are like yelling low battery in my ears.
Oh no.
Because I definitely remember, like, as a kid, like, you'd have something like Fred go viral, and people are like, this is making society worse. Like, there would be this element of, like, feeling scandalized by whatever the viral content was, which I don't really feel like we see that as much anymore. It's more outrage, I think, than really being... Yeah, and the Lil Nas X, I guess. But again, maybe I was just a kid in a somewhat conservative environment.
I think that's it. I think there was a novelty to it, but I didn't really see much scandal to it.
Yeah.
It's like, you just don't really see like, fucking like Neon Cat, shit like that.
Gangnam Style.
Yeah,
Gangnam Style was a good time.
There was a comment earlier about fucking Weezer Pork and Beans. Are you familiar with that?
No.
So Weezer are a rock band, and in the mid-late 2000s, they were definitely getting less and less popular very quickly. And one of the things that they did was a music video for one of their songs that was just like, here are all of the viral memes. Here is everything, like, this is what YouTube is in this year. And so you get like Numa Numa, like Leave Britney Alone, like all that shit. And it's just like, it is such a time capsule of an era.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, to be fair, YouTube probably just kind of stole their idea a couple years later when they started doing YouTube Rewind.
Yeah.
But
and I feel like Rewind's never quite captured an era like the Pork and Beans video.
Yeah. Well, I think partly it comes from the fact that you have to only cover stuff from one year.
Yeah.
But I also think Rewinds kind of started falling off, where I think what they should have started doing would be like regional rewinds. Because what would happen is, I feel like part of the reception to rewinds going down just happened to be that they tried to squeeze stuff from around the world, but then what would happen is you'd have people being like, I don't know who half these people are because they went viral in like Germany or something and I don't live there. So I feel like it almost would have worked better if they would have done like kind of by region instead of trying to squeeze like, you know, 100+ people from around the world into like 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, here is what was viral in North America.
Yeah.
Here's what was viral in like Europe.
Yeah, because especially for regions that don't speak as much English, like a lot of people would get confused when they would see stuff from like Japan pop up because the Japanese internet and the English internet don't really have that much crossover.
Yeah.
Whereas like something like UK versus like America,
yeah, the language barrier
might
does
not be
a
as
lot.
different. Yeah.
And it's like, I think there's like a stronger language barrier with Asian countries than in Europe, because in Europe you do get people speaking multiple languages often, like, and you do get like Japanese people speaking English. Like my mom speaks English, but like I feel like it's more common in Europe to be bilingual.
Well, I also know a lot of people in Europe who like. Or I know of people in Europe who like mostly create content in English, even though it's not their first language, but just because it's going to reach a wider audience than if they try to do it in their native language. Vtuber mom. Vtuber mom.
Yeah. That's what I said.
To specify, yeah.
Oh, were people confused by that?
I think at least one person was.
Yeah, no. I was talking about Pudding. My VTuber mom. Or one of my VTuber moms, but yeah. That's thinking about old YouTube is just such a bizarre thing. It's like the really old internet of like 2008 is just incomprehensible. In a way that, like, if you took viral meme content from 2021 and put it back to 2008, it would be incomprehensible to them.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I don't even know what a modern meme that would like. What would you even send back? Like, if you could send one meme back, like, what would you send them? Like,
oh, that's actually a really tough question.
Yeah, like,
I think I would send back the teeth tweet.
The what, sorry?
The teeth tweet.
The teeth tweet?
The teeth tweet. Do you not know the teeth tweet?
I feel like I'd probably know if you explained it to me. But I don't know off the top of my head.
Everyone in the dentist's office is chanting, teeth, teeth, teeth. Does that explain it?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what you would send back to, like, early internet.
Yes, I think it's the right kind of incomprehensible, where it's not, and it's also not beholden to any one template.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
It's like, this is a funny thing that one person came up with.
I don't know, I feel like the kind of thing I would send back might be, like, I feel like one, like, not underrepresented, but, like, under-acknowledged source of comedy are songs that are made by, like, cutting off parts of other songs. Like, you know when you have someone, like, okay, you know that clip of, like, Shinji that's like, well, I cry times when I'm lying in bed, and they just cut off the lyrics there and they just keep the instrumental going? I feel like stuff like that could be sent back without any confusion, because that's the joke.
Oh, I was going for, like, most confusing.
Okay, I was gonna say, are we trying to confuse them or not?
Yeah, if I was trying to confuse them, I would send back, like, I would send back teeth tweet.
Yeah, I feel like...
If I was trying to, like, send back something that made sense, like, there's a million versions of the, like, disgruntled girlfriend tweet.
Yeah.
That would work.
Imagine sending, like, modern day Wojaks to people from, like, 2012, and they'd be like, oh, well, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Fucking rage comics are all the rage again.
Is this the wheel of time? Like, every 10 years, somebody will reinvent rage comics?
Thing in chat, the Morty tweet meme blowing up 9 years after the fact would not make sense to a 2008 internet. They didn't do ironic reworkings of past meme culture that we all recognize as being old. Yeah, I think the thing is that, like, in 2008, there weren't old memes. You didn't have memes that were a decade old, because a decade ago, the internet was, like, such a smaller thing.
Mm-hmm. I think also, too, like, I feel like 10 years ago, there was more of a focus on, like, and we kind of make fun of this now, but there definitely was more of a focus on, like, hashtag relatable things. Whereas now I feel like people kind of make fun of that genre of content. But yeah, I feel like back in the day, that was more what people were looking for. And I think the idea of like kind of anti-jokes, like the joke is that there is no joke, which is more common nowadays. But I feel like it wasn't as common back then.
I feel like it was common insofar as there would be like, it would be very heavy-handed that there was no joke. So it's like, you can't really get around the fact that okay, words. It would be like you get to the punchline, and the punchline is basically there is no joke, or there is no joke here. Compared to like modern anti-humor, which is different.
Yeah, usually when I think of stuff like that, I think of like, you know, that cropped boomer images of like the guy standing in front of the sunset that just says, "I may be stupid."
Yeah.
I think of stuff like that, where it's like, the joke is that we deleted the punchline, and now the setup now is the joke.
Yeah, which is a very different sort of thing. Yeah, but it's just... Oh, I don't know. The fact that, like, Neon Cat could become a meme is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because that couldn't happen in 2021. I mean, like, Vocaloid is still a meme, but, like, it wouldn't happen in that way. It's like...
No, I'm trying to think
there was
like...
a period of time where, like, memes were, like, IRL merchandisable. And I'm, like, there is so much to the, like, specific confluence of events that happened to cause that. Because, like, in order to make merchandise for a meme, it has to be viral and it has to be popular. And it
also has... It has to be popular for long enough for the manufacturing process to actually be able to occur.
Yeah. So it's like, if you go to a store and it's like, there's a set of Neon Cat postcards, it's like, Neon Cat would have been popular for at least like 6 months at that point. Whereas these days, it's like, a new meme template becomes popular, and like, you get like maybe a week before it just dies off the end of, like, incomprehensible. Where it's like, you start replacing the faces of the meme with just, like, whatever weird shit that doesn't even make sense.
Or you just start, like, restructuring the meme. Like, I see that a lot with those, what's it called? Trolley problem memes, where it's like... The whole point is you just keep restructuring it and remixing it until it's, like, no longer what it originally was. Okay, Omelet says, do you remember how people mispronounce Neon Cat by rhyming it with Cyan Cat? So you get, like, Nyan Cat? Ugh!
I definitely heard people pronouncing it like that. Which was funny to me because Naya is a term in Magic. So it's like, Nyan Cat. Yes, Naya does have cats.
No, for me, I felt the same way with Gangnam Style and people just mispronouncing Korean names of things. So you get like Opan Gangnam Style, and I'm like,
Well, like, yeah. But, so it's just like, I don't know, the fact that like, I think the other thing about merchandise memes, it's not just that it's popular, it's that it's like omnipresent at that point. Everyone knew who Grumpy Cat was.
Yeah. I think it's also too, like, it's not just a matter of is this thing popular, it's also like, is this thing popular and would people want to wear it? Like,
yeah, is it marketable?
Because there's a lot of memes nowadays that, while yes, they are popular, I don't think anybody would want them on a shirt.
Yeah, just like, I don't know. You do get people, like, making, like, custom shirts of memes. Because that's the thing you can do, but you won't get, like, you won't see, like, an actual t-shirt manufacturer making a t-shirt with the word femboy on it. the weird thing with meme merchandising is that you still see that merchandise from 8 years ago knocking around in shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because it's like, you know, Nyan Cat was popular for like 3 years, which is like
at least
eon for a meme. But then what happens is that like it stops being anything that people care about, and so it's like, whether it's because these people are like selling the stuff to like secondhand stores, or if it's just like overstocked merch, it's just gonna sit there.
Is this gonna become like a thing in like 50 years? Like people are gonna be like, here is the rare troll face t-shirt from the year 2009. Mm-hmm. This is vintage.
I don't know. If I am an old woman and I see someone walking around with troll face on their shirt, I'm just gonna die on the spot. But another thing in chat, I think the death of meme merchandise was when I saw a dude wearing a Dat Boy shirt in 2016. Haven't seen anything like it since.
I don't know. I do miss Dat Boy.
Yeah, that was a wholesome meme.
That was Here Come That Boy.
Yeah.
I want to have a pleasant reunion with him, where he's gonna come pedaling up to me on his little unicycle, and I will tearfully say, "Oh shit, what up?"
I feel like we're due for a Dat Boy resurgence
revival
at some point.
Yes.
Like, with the way nostalgia has accelerated, like, nostalgia is going to be reaching Dat Boy soon.
Yeah, any day now.
Yeah, that, like...
Hey, dumb question.
Yeah?
People in my chat, are you hearing when my headphones say low battery?
I'm not hearing
because
it, at least.
if it's taking the audio from the headphones, is it gonna hear, like, are we hearing like a low battery every few minutes? Or are we good?
I'm not hearing it, at least.
No, okay.
Did Dat Boy get caught in the crossfire of the Pepe toxicity?
Surprisingly not.
Yeah, I think there was overlap, but Dat Boy definitely superseded it. I think Dat Boy just fell off because there's
less uses for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very limited meme, and like it was popular for a long time. But not.
I also think
popular.
that like, just because something includes a frog does not necessarily wrap it up into Pepe, you know?
Yeah.
There have been other frog memes and other frog images that have circulated since Pepe that are pretty much completely unrelated.
Yeah. Pepe's had a weird life, because it's like, there was the whole, like, Pepe is a hate symbol thing. And what?
Didn't the original comic artists of Pepe just, like, kill off the character because he just didn't want anything to do with it anymore? Like...
Yeah, and then just kept suing Nazis who were using it. But I feel like the pendulum has kind of swung back to the middle. Where
Yeah.
I do see people, like, who aren't, like, far right using it.
Well, I don't know. I also feel just, like, the circumstances have changed such that, like, saying that Pepe is a hate symbol makes you sound like you're a time traveler who just walked out of 2015.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it's definitely a sort of dated sentiment. Like, I still do sort of, like, get a little tense when I see someone sending it. It's like, oh shit, right, no, it's fine. Yeah. But it's like, there's always that moment. How did Doge survive? Yeah, that is a good question. Doge has definitely...
It's a dog.
Like, Doge was a thing in, like, 2011.
Yeah. And then I researched, but you know what? I think Doge is a cute dog, so I don't think it matters.
I think it's just like, it's a cute dog meme that people look back fondly on. And then it's like, it was originally popular in like 2011, 2012, and then in like 2016 or 2017 it started like, you got the resurgence. Except, that's when it started getting a little bit weirder. And then it just kind of like, is slowly getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And what would someone in 2011 think of a Doge meme from 2021? Like,
I don't even know, like... I'm trying to think of the last Doge meme I saw. Like, because none of these are sticking in my brain.
it's not so much that Doge is a meme, but that Doge is, like, used in other memes.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, the Virgin and Chad Doge edits.
Yeah.
That are just the Virgin and Chad meme, but, like, it is just also Doges.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, cute animals, just by virtue of being cute animals, will have more longevity than anything else, really.
Yeah.
Except Grumpy Cat. I don't know.
The Grumpy Cat had a lot of longevity.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just among a different audience, I think.
Yeah, no, that's back, like, that was definitely, like, a Facebook thing that, like, it started elsewhere, but, like, it definitely, like, once it got on Facebook, it guaranteed that it was gonna have, like, 5 years of lifespan at the least.
Yeah, you know what? Every English teacher I have ever had was into Grumpy Cat.
Yeah!
I think that was its target audience.
Yeah, like, middle-aged women.
Yeah, well, I also think just by virtue of the fact that Facebook's audience is probably a little older, on average, that probably gives memes on Facebook a little more longevity because old people are less likely to go through things at the rate that, you know, Zoomers are going through.
Yeah, they see, like, a picture of Grumpy Cat with, like, some text that's like, I spilled my coffee today. And they laugh and move on with their day.
Well, no, I think
Yeah? Yeah?
Sorry, you got cut off by another low battery notification.
Okay. You were about to start saying something.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's just, Ennui pointing out some examples of Doge in 2021. So, used in modern rage comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then also the horny jail bonk.
Bonk.
That... yeah, that would probably be a lot to 2011 internet.
Bonk.
Because that was, like... What was, like, internet horny, like, in 2011?
And were people at the state where they wanted to bonk it, yes.
Yeah. Because I feel like, even the term horny, like, the term horny has existed in culture for, like, a while now. But it, like, I feel like it didn't reach mimetic status until, like, the mid or late 2000s. Or 10s.
Well, I think also just the idea that, of, like, horny jail, or, like, that when somebody's being horny, you bonk them, I feel like that seems like a fairly recent idea as well.
Yeah, remember, like, Vibe Check?
I guess, yeah, that's probably the same.
Yeah, I think it might be an evolution of Vibe Checks.
I mean, yeah, but Vibe Checks weren't horny.
No, but, like, the idea of hitting people over things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, it evolved from, like, a person did a thing, we're gonna hit them. Like, this person is getting a vibe check, this person is getting hit with the horny bat.
Yeah. There are plenty of boomers who are just about reaching 2010 meme culture. Yeah, I do see that occasionally. I see my mom send, like, things that I'm like, oh boy, this meme format is from, like, 2013.
2011 horny would have been those memes where like, it was a hot woman and the Eiffel Tower in the background with the caption, if you know this picture is in France, you're gay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, modern, like, Twitter is really fucking horny. And I think that's, like, a recent thing. And
yeah, well, I feel...
yeah?
It's interesting that the internet is getting hornier, as we are technically not allowed to be as horny as we used to on the internet. Like,
people are finding
rules,
like new and creative ways.
Yeah.
If you can't post porn, words will have to do.
Either that, or just get so like horny in a niche way that like algorithms can't figure out what you're talking about.
Yeah, fucking. That just, like, led a thought in my head to ping pong around. Back thinking about fucking Grand Blue Fantasy fans. And
are they horny?
Yes.
Oh.
Specifically, I have seen multiple people post about armpit fetishes in relation to that game. It's weird.
Yeah, I think
possibly a post-Tumblr thing.
Yeah, that's true. Twitter,
I think like
post Tumblr Twitter is very different than Twitter when Tumblr was around. I mean, Tumblr is still around, but like when it was around in its better state.
Yeah. I mean, like, fucking there was that post about how Twitter or how Tumblr is still going recently. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm aware it's not dead. It's just like quieter. From what I've been told, it's actually better. From what I've heard.
Yeah. I know. I'm in fandom stuff, so I know people who use Tumblr.
Yeah, I have friends who still use it. I think the thing is that what had happened with Tumblr is back in the day I did use it, but the problem was that I had XKit and I had so many terms whitelisted that XKit would like crash the site when it would open. Because yeah, like every time somebody was posting about something I didn't like, I would just add that term to like the list of like whitelisted or blacklisted or whatever words. And the more words you have on it, the more it has to like process every time you refresh. So it got to the point where it was like slowing down the site to the point of basically being broken. At which point I basically just stopped using the site until I got a new computer. Like, I think one of the terms I blacklisted, I think was the personal tag. Like, you know, when people would be like, you'd have like a fandom blog and then they wanted to complain about something in their life. But I don't know, maybe I just followed people who were just like either really weird about it or just like what they today on Twitter might call trauma dumping. Like,
yeah,
they would just have like a big paragraph about something in their personal life, and I'm like, I was here for Steven Universe memes. It was just kind of like, but it was one of those things where I'm like, yes, I'm in control. I can not have to see these things. But yeah, so I started doing that with like, you know, the personal tag, and then but the other thing too is a lot of blogs would use their own specific tags for stuff. So if they had a different word for personal, I would have to blacklist that tag too.
That's God.
Yeah.
That reminds me of how like Zoomers have taken the fucking like tags and turned them into their own language that is incomprehensible. Tone indicators. That's it.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that. Yeah.
I don't know what a single tone indicator means.
Well, I know like the S, like the sarcasm one.
They don't even use /S. /S is like a decade old.
Yeah, but that's the reason why it works, because everyone kind of knows what it is. There's a precedent.
Yeah, we don't need more than that. And it's just like, I see people using these and I don't get what they mean. And like, that defeats the point when it's like, it's supposed to be this basic language that's like...
Yeah. It's like, oh, you have trouble understanding what people are trying to say? Let's invent more things for you to learn to try to figure out what people are trying to say.
Yeah, now instead, like, the argument I've seen is that, like, for autistic people, it's easier to judge tone in conversation that way.
My hot take is that if... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give my hot take. This is my spicy hot take. If autistic people are constantly misunderstanding what you're saying, then you may need to improve your writing.
Yeah, like, I'm autistic and I can generally pick up on tone. But it's also, like, the problem is that, like, the reason why autistic people might not pick up on that is that, like, we don't pick up on a lot of social cues that are, like, more hidden. Where it's like, if something isn't said outright, we might miss it. And, like, there's a whole second language to speech, which is kind of like the cultural aspect, and that's what we miss.
It's not like the physical words, like...
Yeah, it's basically like the like unspoken vocabulary that we just can't learn. What this does is it doesn't solve that, but in addition to it, it adds a second spoken vocabulary.
Yeah. Well, I also think, especially on the internet, half of the vocabulary is just context. Like, if I see a tweet from an account that is known for making sarcastic tweets or for having very like dry humor, and they say something that is absolutely absurd, I'm going to assume it's a joke because I'm familiar with the account and I know what its usual humor is. But inevitably, every single time I see something like this, in the replies, there will always be somebody who is not aware of this account and is taking the tweet 100% seriously because they lack the context. But you can't just, like... You can't just throw context at people. That has to be kind of a thing you learn on your own. And that's just something that's inevitably going to happen on the internet.
There are cases where, like adding even /s to a joke, like, kind of kills it, because at that point, you're explaining the joke.
It's like, this is a joke. Wink.
It's kind of like, I don't know. It's not meaningfully easier to judge it that way. But I don't know. I guess, like, Zoomers get it. Maybe that's the generational gap. Like, whether or not you understand tone indicators.
It's like, are we elderly now?
I feel old.
The number of different uninformed reactions to drill that people have had over the years. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, the kind of accounts that kind of are known for making absurd or unusual tweets. And then you have people that are taking it seriously, and it's like, you are lacking some critical information. I think, I don't know. The children these days are interesting, and I don't quite understand them.
Yeah, it's... Like, Zoomers is a good word for them, because they just zoom right past comprehensibility.
Fast. Well, they're going very fast.
Yep.
Yes, the Sonic generation, truly.
I mean, like, I'm fond of the term digital natives.
Yeah.
Because it's like, with that term, the argument is that, like, what defines them is that they grew up in a digital age. Compared to us, where it's like, we can describe when we started using the internet and stuff.
I think also the fact, it's not just internet use, but I feel like it's like unsupervised internet use.
Yeah, and sort of just like...
Because I feel like I definitely used the internet as a child, but it was highly supervised, and I wasn't really, like, free, the same way that kids these days might be at a younger age.
Yeah, and it's like, even if they have, like, restrictions, it's going to be, like... It's going to be restrictions in the same way that I was restricted playing video games.
I think also, too, nowadays I feel like there are less dedicated spaces for kids on the internet. Because I remember as a kid, there was a lot of, like, you had Webkins, you had, like, Club Penguin, like, whether or not they were good for kids to be on is debatable, but, like, you can't deny that they were spaces, like, designed for children. Whereas nowadays, kids are kind of just expected to use the same places as adults, and they're just expected to exist there.
Which is why you get a lot of kids mad at adults for being adults.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how dare you be sexual on Twitter? Like, yes, I could, like, not interact, but you're the one at fault here.
Yeah. And I think just the fact that, like, we don't really have a good way to figure out what to do with that, because...
Bring back forums.
You can't just... you can't just, like... It's impossible to kick children out of adult spaces without making it incredibly inconvenient for adults. Because, like, how do you prove age? Like, anybody could lie about their age on the internet. Like,
yeah, I think the thing is that it's, like... the reason I say bring back forums is because forums are a more personalized space.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can have a forum dedicated for children.
I don't know. I think the other thing too is the fact that everybody's using the same things now. Like,
Yeah.
I think about Tumblr versus like current Twitter, and I think one of the biggest differences there is that Tumblr was kind of its own space, whereas everyone is using Twitter. Like, Tumblr had quote unquote Tumblr culture, but Twitter can't because Twitter is, yeah, former Tumblr users, but also like celebrities and politicians,
former Reddit users, former channers, like
yeah, pretty much. So everyone is on Twitter, so I feel like that makes it kind of
I feel like that
weird
gives it
in a
its
way.
own like amalgamation culture.
Yeah. I also feel like when people are like, everything is worse now, it's like, I don't know if it's worse. I think it's just more visible because everyone's in the same space.
Yeah, the internet was always like bad to people. It's just that bad, like, let's say like 1% of people in a forum with 400 people like are like having a miserable time. That is 4 people.
Yeah.
1% of Twitter users is millions.
Yeah.
The closest thing to forums is Discord servers.
I guess, yeah.
I don't even think comparing Discord to forums is good. Like, it's not really a good comparison. And the thing that Discord compares to is chat rooms. And I think as far as it being a comparison to chat rooms goes, like, that works. Okay, we can just skip this.
Okay,
but,
yeah,
like,
we've already been through this.
I thought, like, I tried to skip it and it didn't let us.
Oh,
So I was
that's
like-
why we were just like talking through it.
Yeah. So I like tried to skip it and then it didn't go, and I was like, okay, just have to watch it, and then I tried again and it worked. But yeah, but no, Discord isn't forums, Discord is chat rooms. And I want someone to do a modern revival of forums.
Yeah, I just don't know what it would look like.
Cause it's like
Cause like, okay,
the
here, I'm
the
gonna say
medium
it.
of the medium of forums is just kind of dead for now.
I'm gonna have a hot take. Reddit is forum. Okay, depending on how you use it, because I might be using Reddit wrong.
Yeah.
Because basically, I never use my Reddit homepage. Like, never at all. I will check up on individual subreddits.
I think you're an atypical Reddit user.
Okay, because usually I look at specific subreddits. Like, I'm like, okay, what's going on in the HoloLive subreddit today? Like, what's going on in my city subreddit? I don't use the Reddit homepage at all. I'm being told I'm actually using Reddit correctly.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say you're using it wrong. You're using it atypically.
Yeah, because I know back in the day I would frequent some of the bigger subreddits, so something like, Ask Reddit, I would check up on every once in a while when I was bored, but again, it's not like I was going through the whole of Reddit. I was like, okay, I'm going to check Ask Reddit. I'm going to check subreddits for shows I like. I'm going to check, like, our anime. Like, it was individual subreddits. So I guess I was kind of using Reddit more like its forums rather than its own, like, social media
Yeah, that's definitely like atypical
system.
of the platform. And like, even at its best, it doesn't really replicate forums, just because like the way that comments are like float to the top based on upvotes.
Yeah.
That definitely means that like it can't have a forum culture, because forum is just, you get these things happening, like conversations just happen.
Yeah. I mean, Reddit-specific design on a core level seems to bring toxicity. You know what? I'm going to kind of... Well, okay, here's the thing. At least back in the day, the one thing I could at least say about Reddit is that it has moderators.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not those moderators are good will vary by the situation, but the fact that there are human people that you can talk to if you have problems puts it miles ahead of, like, Tumblr and Twitter.
But the problem is that, like, the upvote system, like, where, like, you will see the most popular comments first, breeds a very specific, hive mind culture.
Yeah, I suppose, but I feel like it also kind of... because I feel like, do you ever scroll to the bottom of the thread and then you see something that's hidden and it says it has like negative 46, like it has like 46 downvotes or something, and you're like, okay, at least I can know what not to bother with. Because sometimes you will just get comments that are just like incredibly incorrect or incredibly inflammatory.
It's like, the problem isn't so much downvotes as it is upvotes, where it's like, on a game subreddit, the developers make a change. The thread is just filled with people saying, like, the game is gonna die now. Like, this killed the game. And those are the comments getting all of the upvotes. And anyone else, anyone who's saying, like, I like this change, or like, I don't think this is the end of the world, either won't get upvoted or won't, or will get downvoted. And it's like, the groupthink is definitely there. Like, the hive mind is there. And I think that's the kind of thing where, like, it breeds toxicity in that, like, I don't know, it just pushes up one specific line of thought as the most prominent. And it's very, and once you're seeing it, it's like, you go into the thread and, like, the three top, like, comments are like, wow, game sucks now. It's like, you'll think everyone thinks this.
See, I think the other thing is I may also be using Reddit wrong in terms of the fact that, like, most of the subreddits that I frequent aren't for terribly serious things. Like, a lot of them are just memes and stuff, so half the time, if there's serious discussion on a meme, it means that something has gone terribly wrong, and typically at that point, it's not worth reading. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, when I used Reddit, I used it a lot for, like, Magic stuff. Like, Magic the Gathering stuff. And boy... People have thoughts on that game, and they love to say them.
Yeah, never really enjoyed comments being sorted by upvotes. I mentally filter by myself. Thank you very much. Here's the thing. In theory, it would be nice to be able to mentally filter through things, but in practice, that means like going through tons of just like... Because it's nice to just not have to see... Because you know how... Okay, let's say there's like an average of toxicity. So you have like super positive answers to something, you'll have like neutral, and then you'll have negative. So if you can filter out like that bottom tier of just like stuff that's just pure vitriol, I'm okay with something that will get rid of that, like, you know? The problem is that
Reddit will very frequently be the one, like pushing up the bad comments. Just because,
I don't know, maybe it just makes...
That's the culture of the website.
Yeah, I think maybe I just mostly frequent subreddits with good moderation. Because, yeah, typically, in my experience, half the time the top comment is like a pun or like a really dumb joke. So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't used Reddit in like years at this point. I stopped using it in 2017.
Yeah, again, I used it a lot, like, around, like, 2016, 2017. Eventually I got into Twitter, which is worse.
Yeah, like, definitely, like, me getting on Twitter did correlate with, like, me using less Reddit. But there was a period of time that was, like, a 6-month period of time in between when I, like, stopped using Reddit and when I started using Twitter super heavily, where I just didn't have anything in that space.
Cut my teeth on the old internet, so maybe I don't mind. See, yeah, I think I came into the internet kind of a little later, so I feel like I am a little softer, like, when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, there are things that I'm like, I see and I'm like, I don't want to see that ever again, and then I just don't go there again.
Yeah,
I think for me, like, it also depends. How do you get into the bad parts of Twitter? By following the wrong people, or by looking too deep into the replies of a popular post. Because basically what happened to me, something I've noticed is that I have my VTuber Twitter, and I have another like personal one that I don't use as often anymore. And every single time I, like, check up on what's going on my other account, I'm like, right, that's why I don't use that much anymore. Because I go into my VTuber one, and, like, The people I follow are mostly VTubers or people who are like VTuber adjacent, right? Like artists and stuff. And that one's usually fine. Like, I don't see a lot of people are like, there's drama in the VTuber community, and I'm like, where? Like, this is nothing compared to what I was constantly seeing everywhere on my old account. Like, I'm mostly just seeing like self-promo and like going live tweets and people's skeb commissions, and that's about it. And then I go into my other account, and it's like, people are yelling at each other all the time, and I'm like, okay, that's why I stopped using that one.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, I think part of the reason why I come down so hard on Reddit is that, like, from, like, 2011 to 2017, I used it heavily. So, like, I am intimately familiar with how terrible it can be. Also, I could have sworn we've seen this conversation before. But yeah,
well, they're talking. What are they talking about? Like the lunar eclipse thing, or?
Yeah.
I think we've seen this.
But I think we saw it with different characters.
Yeah.
So we can't skip it. But yeah, I used Reddit for a while, so I know how awful it can be.
Yeah. The nonverbal agreement to not torch each other too much in the VTuber sphere must have been a blessing. You know what? That is something I kind of like here. Like, the fact that I feel like people are more likely to try to get ahead by being overly nice to other people is a refreshing change from other communities I've been in, where people get popular by, like, getting mad at each other. Regardless of whether or not there was actually much wrongdoing done. Like,
yeah, well, I think in VTuber culture it pays to suck up to people.
Yeah, more so. And, like, obviously that has its downsides, but it's still a better circumstance than...
I wish I used my VTuber Twitter account more often. It's just like...
It is...
I only have so much energy for Twitter, and it's, like, hard to, like, remember to use it. And I don't follow that many people on there, so it's like, I don't have much to say on there, because it's mostly getting said on my main account, and I don't have people
yet you have more
to.
followers than me.
I don't know how that happened, because my tweets get, like, 3 likes.
I don't know, did you, like, do something really early on? See, I have the opposite issue where I feel like my tweets get more and more likes, but my follower count stays about the same. Which is good. It means that, like, the people who are here want to stay. But,
yeah,
I'd rather have more engagement from, like, a smaller amount of people because it means that people are happy about it. But
yeah, for me,
it's like, also weird where I'm like...
I was more active on Twitter pre-debut. But even then, and, like... I would have, like, 250 followers, and a tweet would get 10 likes at most. Like, 6 likes at most. Like, not much.
My tweets, though, are, like, going live tweets, and the other half are egg puns.
I think the type of person who follows me is the kind of person who looked at my design and was like, oh, cute. Okay, I can follow. And it's like, I have the, like... 10 people who consistently like my stuff. Like my tweets or whatever. And I mean, like, it doesn't help that, like, more and more lately, I've been, like, tweeting about magic and stuff.
I mean, I guess you can always... It's never too late to find a new niche.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm 100% pivoting into magic being one of my niches.
Oh, hold on. My headphones just died. Just give me a moment while I,
Can you
grab something else?
I assume you can't hear me. That would have been a really dumb question.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
That would have... Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
I hope you're saying something interesting. Because I cannot hear it.
Thank you, Egg, for answering my question as I asked it.
Wait, what on earth just happened? My computer doesn't have a speaker. Where is your voice coming from?
What? Wait.
Your voice just started coming out of a speaker? Oh wait, no, now it's muted.
What? What?
Something bizarre is going on. There we go. I'm putting in my new headphones.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, but I'm not sure if the audience can.
Okay.
Hold on, let me move. Let me fix this.
My audience can.
Speak.
Hello?
Yes. Okay, we're good.
Anyway, you were like, you said something like, I hope you can hear me right now. Or, no, something like that.
Basically, what had happened is my wireless headphones died.
No, yeah, no, you said that, and it was like, I said something along the lines of can you hear me right now? Except, like, I realized partway through that, wait, of course she can't. But I can hear you the entire time.
Yeah, no, because my headphones, I don't use the mic on my headphones. My headphones and my mic are separate. My mic is wired, so I don't have to worry about running out of batteries. But my headphones are definitely, they're wireless, and I'm like, I need to charge them. They've been getting, every 5 minutes, I've been getting, a low battery thing, and it keeps cutting off when you're talking.
I just prefer to use wired headphones.
Yeah, I mean, I got these as a gift, but...
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to using them. The battery life is pretty good, though. This is the first time I've had to recharge them.
We do have Bluetooth headphones, but that's more for when we're going out or stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, I used to have a smaller pair of Bluetooth earbuds that I used to use for exercising back when I used to exercise. But oh my god, okay. I'd like to apologize as well to the only Zero Ray, who I just noticed was following me, because I think we might have been talking when the sound alert went off. I'm so sorry. Thank you for following them.
Yeah, you were saying.
Ren is kind of quiet. Hold on, I'll turn it back on. Okay. Yeah. I think the thing with wireless headphones is that I use my headphones so much that the idea of them running out of battery while I'm in public and can't charge them sounds terrible. I don't even know what I would do. And I mean, yeah, you can carry a backup, but then what's the point of having the wireless ones to begin with, you know?
What was that? Wait.
Oh, the...
I zoned out and missed the first half what you said.
I don't like the idea of my headphones running out of battery in public, because I use headphones a lot. If I am in public and I am not talking to somebody directly, I am probably have at least one of my earbuds in.
Yeah, we
Sometimes
just have
not even listening to anything.
We have over-the-ear headphones.
Yeah, no, I usually have earbuds for going out, just because I find over-the-ear headphones to be a little clunky. But when I'm around the house, over-the-ear headphones are fine.
Yeah, but we always carry around two portable recharge battery things with us. The kind of thing where it just has a USB stick in it.
Oh yeah.
We always have two of those in our purse.
Yeah, again, for me, it's just more the fact that I would have to stop using them for a moment in order to charge them. That's what gets me.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think I'm just because again, I'm just a very heavy headphones user. Even if I'm not listening to anything, I'll just have earbuds in to block out noise or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I always have something usually music or a YouTube video playing.
Yeah. Because the other thing I realize is how noisy things are. Oh my god, buses are so noisy. I'm going on buses now for the first time in a while, and I'm like, wow, buses are loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wireless headphones are the best. Yeah, again, I like wireless headphones. I just can't stand having to charge them.
I used to live in an area with a metro, not quite. Not subway, because it doesn't go under the ground.
Yeah, a train.
A metro.
Yeah.
And that was always so fucking loud.
Yeah, I mean, personally I find trains are louder on the outside, but pretty quiet on the inside.
It was still plenty loud, especially because, there would be a lot of people in the car.
Yeah. That being said, buses are loud everywhere all the time. Even cars are, surprisingly loud.
Yeah, I can't drive, but my roommate can. So she drives me around places drives us around places sometimes, and it's Yeah, it's loud.
I think, I don't know, because, like, I don't drive either, but yeah, even when I'm riding in the car, especially when you're going fast, like if you're going on a highway or something, then the car is making more noise, and I'm like, this is surprisingly loud.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, COVID and haven't been going out as much. Like, I feel like I'm not as good at handling noise as I used to be. Like, I'll be at work, and then I'll be out, and then I'll go into, like, the stock room or something, where it's quieter, and then I'm like, oh god, I don't want to go back out. Just because I don't want to deal with noise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, cities aren't loud, cars are loud. Yeah, that's correct.
And it was like... God, there was this fucking... That reminds me of, some, like, turn of the century shit from, like, the 20th century. About how, like, when cars started getting more popular, there was a controversy around that, around the noise.
Well, it's funny that people tend to say, like, complain about how wind turbines are loud, and then proceed to say nothing about cars.
Yeah, whereas, like, there was a whole movement whose thing was basically, like, cars are so fucking loud that we need to reshape our society to deal with this shit.
I need to find a city skyline mod that doesn't make everything default to cars. Or maybe I'm just bad at city skylines and I haven't figured out how to be good at it yet. Also a possibility.
Yeah, but just... Cars suck. Like, I have a personal vendetta against cars. I'm not gonna go into that, because I don't want people feeling sorry for me. But yeah, I don't like cars.
I think it's also... For me, it's just more that... It's not that cars themselves are bad, it's just that when you build something for cars, it automatically excludes every other form of transportation. Like, it's not just that making stuff better for cars makes things better for cars, it's that it makes everything worse for everybody else. Like, it's very much like a zero-sum game. Like, if you build roads, if you build a parking lot, then your place is inherently going to get worse for pedestrians. Like,
Like, we don't drive, which means we have to swim everywhere, which sucks. It's like, things aren't close by.
I wonder how many times I have managed to narrowly avoid dying from walking home from work.
I'm not gonna answer that address that question.
Cause, like, I have to walk through a parking lot, which doesn't really have much of a sidewalk. I have to cross... It's not a highway, but it's close to a highway. I have to cross one of those.
Could we move away from the subject, actually?
At one of them.
Specifically from, like, just the subject of, like, almost dying to cars.
Yeah. No, it's just...
Cars suck.
Bad.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Where I walk, there's a bus lane, too. Or, okay, there's a bus lane, there's also a bike lane, except the bike lane doesn't actually do anything. It's literally just, like, painted lines on the road that most people don't even use anyway. I wish there was less need for a commute in general.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried that last year, and I don't know if I enjoy how it worked out. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't mind long bus rides because I like having time where I have an excuse to do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm realizing how many video games I consumed just by being on the bus.
Or, like, reading. I like to read. So it's like carrying a book on the bus. I, like, even when we go out, like, I haven't carried a purse with us. Or, not, a bag in our purse for a while. Because,
like, I was thinking recently, like, I basically consumed the entire Ace Attorney franchise by virtue of the fact that I took the bus a lot. And I had a lot of, like, 45-minute to an hour gaps of time where there wasn't really anything else I could do except sit on the bus and play Ace Attorney. So
train journeys are a great excuse to read books. I mean, like, I lived in a place that had a metro, but that didn't really feel like a train. I mean, I did do reading on it, but that's like, it is more of like city transportation than like a train.
Trains are nice and good, though.
Yeah, no, trains are cool. I'd love to take them more often, but they just like, it just isn't a very cohesive type of transportation.
I don't know. My city has a train, but it's weird because basically they're currently expanding the line, which is good, but it picks up, like, it starts and ends in really weird places because they're like, okay, I guess we can't build this whole thing right off the bat, so we're just gonna start with like a partial line, but it just starts and stops very abruptly. So, yeah, and I think for a while, like, the reception to it was very negative when the train line opened up because I think people in my city are really scared of having to transfer on public transit, which, I mean, transferring from, buses to trains or buses to other buses is like a necessary part of having a functional transportation system. But when people are already afraid of missing their bus, they're like, oh great, now I need to worry about missing 3 buses instead of just 1. Like, people are like really conditioned to not want to transfer because it may make your commute shorter, but it has the possibility of making it longer.
I've definitely, like, thankfully, none of the places I've lived have had particularly bad, like, need to do that. Like, I could have just gotten on a bus or something and just gone to the place I was gonna go. The metro, like, I would need to change lines sometimes, but like, I would get off, like, let's say I got off one train, walked over to the other, and as I was walking there, it left, and I just missed it. It would be like 5 minutes at most before another one came.
Yeah, service intervals. Yeah, that's the word we're looking for. Because the shorter the routes are, the more you're going to have to transfer, but also the shorter the routes, the more reliable that they're going to be. Because I think my city has the problem of making the routes incredibly long. We used to have these buses that would always be late because they would basically cross the entire city. And if there was traffic or an accident or something on one side of the city, then that would screw over buses for basically the entire city because they would all be stuck in one place. Like,
yeah, whereas this was like, it was just, like, a bunch of trains going, basically non-stop. And there were buses that would take a while sometimes.
Yeah,
God,
I don't think
there was one bus that, like, I would have to take it to get to, like, a specific place, like, once every 6 months. But that once every 6 months sucked.
Yeah, I think for me too.
So it was
nothing
like,
in my city comes more frequently than 15 minutes apart.
Yeah, well, this was a bus that came 4 times in a day. And, like, it went to the courthouse. So, like...
And I'm guessing that was, like, the only bus that would take you there, because it was, like, a place that was, like, really, not off the grid, but, like, off the transit grid.
Yeah. So, like, there was the one... It went to the fucking courthouse! You would think that, like, an important place like that would, like... Because it's not just, like, actual court that goes on there. There's a lot. There's, like, multiple buildings there. You would think that, like, that kind of thing would be important.
Yeah, yeah.
But no! 4 times a day. Some days, 2.
I know we have the issue of a lot of places in my city either being, like, new suburbs or just, like, newly built areas that are kind of off the transit grid because they were built for cars anyway, and they assume that if people live there, then they must have a car and no need for a bus. And no friends that would require getting on a bus. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of places in my city that are basically just completely inaccessible by public transport because they either haven't built anything there yet, or they built something, but it's not adequate. Yeah, jeepneys. Yeah, I think I've heard of those. Like, yeah, smaller buses and you can just ride one at any time. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. I don't know if that would work here, but...
Now, what was being talked about? I didn't...
Jeepneys.
Jeepneys?
Yeah, somebody in chat had mentioned it.
That sounds like a slur.
You're not even wrong. Basically, smaller buses, and you can just ride one at any time. Yeah, I guess that would make... Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that would be almost more like taxis.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like... At that point, like, the use of public transportation is that it's, like... You can fit, like, 30 people on a bus.
Mm-hmm. I also think... taxis, but they have set routes. Oh, okay, I guess that makes more sense. I think the other thing here is, like, if your city isn't made for walking, people will be incredibly opposed to walking. So if you're like, oh, you can get on a bus, but you'll have to walk 5 minutes to the bus stop. But if your sidewalks suck, then people are going to be like, well, I don't want to walk 5 minutes to a bus stop. I want to get a car directly out of my driveway. So, yeah. Also, where I live, it's cold.
The more cars you have, the worse it's gonna be. And it's just like... It's been a century of building cities this way.
Yeah, unwalkable cities are hellscapes. Yes, you are preaching to the entire choir here.
The bus fandom is dying. Retweet if you're still a bussy. Send that back to 2008. They would not get that at all. Yeah, buses are neat. I do prefer the metro to buses.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I prefer trains just on an aesthetic level.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I also think it's more comfortable. I think it's just like because a train car is bigger than a bus. It's more spacious. You can fit more people.
I think the other thing for me, maybe it might just be because I live somewhere with a lot of snow, but I find in the winter buses get gross really easily, but trains not as much. And my theory is that with buses, you're stepping in directly from the street, so you're bringing in all your street slush and mud and stuff. Whereas on a train, you have to go into the station, so all the dirt gets rubbed off on the station. And then by the time you get on the train, your boots aren't nearly as dirty as they were if you would just be going straight from outside. So I find trains seem to always be slightly cleaner than buses, but maybe that's just anecdotal experience.
I feel like Bussy is a recent invention. I feel like it did not exist in 2008. I feel like even the phrase that it's a permutation of, I didn't start seeing people use until 2018.
I don't know, I feel like it might even be more recent than that.
Yeah, no, it's a very recent term.
A typical jeepney can carry 10 plus people. The word was derived from when a Southeast Asian country repurposed old military jeeps for public transport. Oh, yeah, that was the Philippines, right? I think I heard about that.
Yeah, Philippines was mentioned in my chat. That CG looks terrible.
I mean, he is supposed to look kind of dead inside, but
I don't think it's working
not to
the
this
right
extent.
way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say this is the most visually excellent game that Uchikoshi has ever worked on.
It's
I mean, now that I think of it, I don't really know what the most visually good game Uchikoshi has ever worked on would be.
I've only played 3 games of his.
Yeah. My vote would probably be for the Somnium Files, but I could see people picking World's End Club just on stylistic basis.
Yeah, World's End Club looked very good. Like, possibly, like, I do like the visual stylings of 999.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at that point it's just like, yeah, wish they kept the 2D from the previous game. Yeah, I can...
Yeah, where it's like, that had a, like, style to it, this just looks really dated.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he's really fighting them. But yeah, no, World's End Club did look good. Did you ever finish it?
No, because I ran out of time, and then I got distracted by the Great Ace Attorney.
Oh no, crap.
I will get back to it, I'll get back to it. I think I was about halfway.
Okay, where were you?
I'm getting... I think I just finished the part where, Jenu unlocks her, like, walking on the ceiling power.
That's a very good section. Kyoto was, like, definitely, my favorite part of the game.
It's no coincidence 2D games age better than 3D ones. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like the secret to getting a game to age well is to, like, take it up to the cutting edge of technology and then just step back about 3 steps.
Or just, like, cement yourself in a specific style.
Yeah. Well, because, like, I think about, like, Earthbound versus, like, other SNES games, like, and how their aesthetics have aged. And, like, something like Earthbound, even at the time, wasn't particularly visually stunning compared to some of the other SNES stuff, but it has definitely aged incredibly well.
But yeah, it's just like... I mean, there's a reason that you still have people making, like, pixel art games.
Yeah, like low poly stuff.
Because it's just like, it has aged well. It is a style which has aged well. Compare pixel art to, like, N64 graphics. No one wants, like, Mario 64. Like, something looking like that.
I'm wondering, too, like, because you see a lot of games from about, like, remember that age of games where everything was an FPS shooter where all the colors were gray and brown and dark green?
Yeah, that was like...
I wonder how those games hold up.
2008 to 2014.
Or, like, you know, the era where they're like, we need people to take games seriously, so in order to do that, we're gonna make them with, like, the highest graphics possible. I wonder how those games have held up.
We're still in that era.
No.
There was a fucking post I saw earlier where someone was like, they took video from the latest COD game and the latest Halo game, and they shot at fruit in both games. And in one game, the fruit just disappeared. And in the other game, the fruit exploded into chunks. And apparently that is what determines whether a game is good or not.
I mean, don't you know video games, good video games is when big numbers?
Good video games is when fruit explode well.
Yeah, to be fair, I find that if they put any level of detail into the produce in a game, I feel like that says something, because every single time I look at fruit in a...
It says the team was crunched hard.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, every single time I look at a fruit or vegetables in a video game, they look worse than the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about fruit. I guess it's like a low priority.
If the fruit looks good, assume that the team just went through hell.
For good fruit.
Yeah, compare that to, like, mid-2000s anime, where, like, the fruit and vegetables was gonna look the best. Just like, if your vegetables looked bad in a mid-2000s anime, you were, like, your anime was tanking in sales.
You were the laughingstock, and everyone was gonna turn your cabbage into a meme.
Yup. Which is, you know, and then Shaft came along and just, like, Shaft just decimated that arms race. Do you know what Shaft did?
Did they just put in, like, straight up photos?
Yeah, in Hidamare Sketch, they just have an actual cabbage. Which is like, Shaft just did that on more than one occasion. Do you remember the spaghetti in Bake episode 1?
Maybe. I know Bake uses a lot of live action stuff.
Yeah, but like in Bake episode 1, there's just like a plate of spaghetti. And apparently it was quite delicious for the production staff to eat later.
Yeah. Even in 3D, you see a wild variety in terms of how games graphics have aged. Yeah, modern war, FPS, deserts are just boring. See, at least, I don't know, I don't play FPS much because I'm not big on, like, competitive type games. But, I don't know, I think for me it was just that entire era of no colors at all just kind of threw me off the genre just forever. And even once they kind of started getting more colorful and more varied in aesthetic, like definitely a lot of FPS games I think are definitely more colorful than they were before.
Yeah, I think there was a shift around like 2017, 2018.
It was Overwatch. That was the switch.
Yeah.
After that, everyone saw how Overwatch did things, and they're like, you know what? We're good with cartoony-looking characters now.
And even Overwatch was like, we're just gonna do like a MOBA cast.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, it worked.
Yeah. But yeah. But even then, by the time that came around, I was already kind of turned off from the genre in general.
I played Overwatch at the time, but that was more because, like, I had friends who were into it.
I tried it once and I was bad at it, so I didn't try it again.
I mean, I was bad at it, but I was playing with friends.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. I tried it on PS4, so maybe I was doing things wrong, but... Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. God, that just reminds me of the shit going on at Blizzard.
Mean and bad.
Very bad. It's...
Yeah, Apex is a synthesis of the two styles, mostly drab colors, but specific points are color-coded to be easily identified. Yeah, I feel like Apex also still has that, like, not cartoony aesthetic, but, like...
It's not drab.
Yeah, it's not trying to look like an actual battlefield. That's my point. And the characters aren't trying to look like actual soldiers.
Mm-hmm. I'm very sick of the, like, neon corporate punk look these days, like the Rage 2 aesthetic.
The Fortnite look?
Fortnite, Borderlands. Definitely Borderlands. Like,
I don't know. It's like, I don't like it, but I still prefer it over, like, drab no colors.
I don't know, I think that it definitely can be worse, especially in, like, it just feels like smug, almost, at times.
Yeah.
I know,
Once again, it's not great, but it's better than the alternative.
Mm-hmm. I suppose. I just, like, Borderlands in particular just did a lot of damage to, like, to like, the like, gaming culture and, like, how things are marketed and shit.
That's weird, because I don't think I've actually ever... I don't even know what kind of game Borderlands is.
It's a shooter.
Like, I know it's a video game, I just have no idea what it's, like, about. What is it on about?
It's a shooter. In chat, it feels quirky and zany. Yeah.
Ah, that kind of aesthetic.
Borderlands is really funny, you know, there's so many jokes. It's a comedy game. You're gonna laugh at it because it's funny.
Ah, the Minions genre of comedy.
Yes. I've never thought about that comparison, but yes.
You know what? I feel like there is an aesthetic in video games that really is just kind of that, like, obnoxious animated kids movie, but adapted to video games.
Yeah, except because it's adapted to video games, it has to be for adults. Borderlands is like the franchise which turned badass into, like, a marketing term.
Hold on, I'm just gonna Google it to get an idea of what... Because I feel like I'm mixing this up with Team Fortress 2.
Because I was a fan of Team Fortress 2, like, I don't like that comparison. but, like, yeah, I can see the similarities.
Okay, yeah, this does not look too familiar.
Mm-hmm. God, I think Team Fortress 2, like, during a very, like, drab era, I think it was doing a good job of, like, keeping itself, like, it was before, like, the kind of issue, like, before it began to feel, like, overwhelming, and, like, omnipresent and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I think Team Fortress 2, at least at the time, was good.
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't play enough games at the time to be able to speak for or against it.
Team Fortress 2 was another thing I played with friends.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah, I'm looking through the pictures of Borderlands, and I'm like, this isn't the aesthetic I was imagining. But yeah, I can definitely see what you're talking about. Because I don't know, when you described it, I was thinking something more like Fortnite kind of look, where everything's like very round, very bouncy. But this one looks almost more like comic booky.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It even had like a comic that was irregularly published. But yeah, it definitely was a very like cartoony sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think though, because like I feel like there was other games around like 2016, 2017 that like did very much change the aesthetics of things. I just can't think of what they are.
I mean, I think Fortnite did a lot.
Fortnite, yeah. I feel like Undertale, despite being a small indie game, did do a lot, I think.
I think it did a lot, but not to shooters.
Yeah, obviously not to shooters, yeah. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen now that things are trying to imitate Among Us.
I mean, I need to play more Nocia, but it seems like a cool game.
Yeah, I mean,
but I feel like
I've already seen other games trying to imitate Among Us. There was one with ducks, I think. Because there seems to be some games already that are like, okay, this is like Among Us, but with extra steps. And it's those extra steps that will like determine what the game is like.
Yeah, like I think Nocia did fine because it had a story. Like it's werewolf but in space and with aliens, but it has a story. And like a colorful cast of characters who like are actual characters and not just blobs.
But then again, I feel like Among Us has the possibility to just spin off into kind of its own genre of like party mystery murder games, you know?
People now know that there is an audience for the sort of party games that you would play in person.
Yeah.
As video games. But like, I want to see like a Call of Duty game try to replicate Among Us, like the way that all of the shooter games started adding in battle royale modes.
Yeah, just like a
add a fucking Among Us mode. I dare you.
Actually, that would be kind of fun because I feel like that would add to something different where you not only have to like figure out how to like get kills, but you have to do it in a way that's quiet and not immediately obvious. I feel like that would actually be interesting.
Yeah, which is why I won't do it.
Yeah, it's weird looking at stuff about video games, noticing how during the 2010s average review scores jumped up a lot because the most reputable review outlets stopped giving review scores. You know, I will fully admit to being the kind of person who doesn't care about review scores unless it's for a game I like, in which case, if the scores are positive, then every reviewer is right about everything ever.
Yeah, like the actual text of the review is what matters, but I think it's also in the 10s, like, you definitely got review outlets being paid more to review things positively.
Sorry, thank you Turtle Rams for subscribing for the second month in a row. Hi, Eggy. Hi, Turtle.
But
We are talking about video games.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, I feel like in that era, you saw a lot of companies paying for high reviews more.
Yeah, again, I don't pay much attention to reviews. I think I pay more attention to people's tweets about games than I do to reviews. Like,
yeah, word of mouth is how I find new games.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, if there's a new Fire Emblem game, I'm gonna hear about it. If there's a new Dragon Quest game, I'm gonna hear about it.
The only exception here is The House in Fata Morgana, which I believe currently still holds a perfect score on many review sites, and they are right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say they are right. At least on this one thing, they are 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
I've been napping all day because of a bad toothache. Oh no, did you like hurt your tooth, or did it just start hurting for no reason? Or was it like a cavity?
So I think we're gonna be ending soon.
Oh no!
Because
hurting
because we're 3 hours in and we're coming up to a choice.
Oh no. Decisions?
And I think because we are 3 hours in, we leave that choice for next week.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you for Anime Omelet. Thank you, Omelet, for your Prime subscription as well. Yeah.
I know. This is our streams have definitely been sliding more and more into we just talk for like 3 hours.
Chat stream while there is Zero Escape in the background.
But like,
I feel like the puzzle sessions are basically just me coming in, like, are you winning, Ran? And then just like going back to the conversation. Oh!
But
thank you, Turtle Rams. This is for the gift sub. This is my first ever gift sub, actually, I think.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, a hype train is close. Oh no. Hype train? What if I miss the hype train? Then I'm gonna be late for my hype class.
But
what is my hype teacher gonna think about me?
But what I was like moving this towards, I'm enjoying this. I'm having a blast with this. Just talking.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it doesn't matter with who I would be streaming with. I'm going to end up going off topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, this happens in the Danganronpa streams, or happened in the Danganronpa streams too. That, like, we would just get off topic sometimes. And
it happens.
We're just leaning into it. Because the gameplay element here isn't so omnipresent as in Danganronpa.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna say? I think my secret here is that all my streams are actually, like, Zatsudan streams. I only do chat streams. It's just that some of them happen to also be while I'm playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Stardew Valley streams. It's all Zatsudan streams.
I know,
I think my Baba streams are, like, actually Baba, though.
My magic streams are like, actually magic. But that's because magic is something that I am, like, seriously into.
Yeah, I think... What else do I stream?
Wait, do we not get a choice here?
You fool. Hold on, check the flowchart.
We don't get a choice here.
The choice looks like it's further down, maybe.
Well, the choice was further up.
Oh. Oh, right, because you had the AB room, right?
Yeah. And I didn't even hesitate to betray. And I guess we don't get a choice that way. So... do we... I guess we get into the room, and then we call it a night.
Sounds good. Wait, that didn't count, SMH. What didn't count? Didn't count.
Hmm?
Sorry, somebody,
Oh.
Turtle in the chat said, wait, that didn't count. I'm like, wait, what didn't count? What didn't count? I wanted the hype train.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it didn't work. Okay. I'm trying to think, because it says, I'm looking at this train icon, and it has like one check mark next to it, and I don't know what the second check mark would be. So, hype train starts when multiple people... Oh, it has to be multiple people. You can't just start a hype train on your own, that's why... Oh, wait, no. Wait, hold on a second. There was multiple people who subscribed. Hit meter. So what's the second check mark? I don't know what it's asking. Because there's like a train symbol and it has like one check mark next to it and then an empty circle, and I don't know what the second thing
This sounds like a really oddly complicated concept.
I don't know. Usually hype trains just happen when, like, you know, a lot of people all start, you know, giving bits or like subscribing all at once. But I'm guessing there has to be a minimum number. Oh, you know what I think it is? I think it has to be a minimum number of people. Because if it's just like one person giving out a ton of gift subs, then that's not a hype train. That's just one person giving out a ton of gift subs. Yeah, that makes sense. You need multiple people to push the train. One person alone cannot push the train because it's too heavy. I don't know why these people are pushing a train. That was a weird metaphor, but Push's plan is to make it all so complicated that people keep doing it so that they can work out how it works. Well, no, I think the other thing is that a hype train, it's not a thing you can start on purpose, I think. It's kind of just like a thing where you gotta, like, you know, if several people have the same thought of subscribing at the same time, then, you know, it just happens. Like, you can't force, it's like trying to force a nickname. Like, you can't do that to yourself. You have to, it has to come naturally. I'm 8th and this is deep.
Yeah, so we're in a room. And I think we're done.
Yep. Ooh, pod room. Pod room. Potters.
So yeah.
Oh my god, say the word poggers to someone from 2008. How do you think they would react to that?
They would not know what you mean.
Poggers.
You would need to explain so much to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, what is Twitch.tv?
Yeah.
What is PogChamp?
Who is the champion of Pog, and why should we care?
But yeah, that was a really fun stream.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here.
Thank you to everybody who showed up and followed, and to the new followers and subscribers, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We try our best to do this every Monday, but it doesn't always work. But
yeah, we'll probably be here next week.
Yes.
Next Monday.
Our plan is to get through the entire Zero Escape franchise, so once we finish this one, we'll be diving straight into Zero Time Dilemma. I had like blanked out on what the third name of the third game was. I'm like, into the other one. So yes.
So yeah, thank you for showing up. Goodbye. I always suck at outros. Bye.